I can't help but be racist. It's true.
No offense, David Jaffe, but that's bullshit.
It is. It is the bullshit. Welcome to Gabin and Games, fellas, for the 10th of December. It is nice to see you. It is nice to have you here. Will says, I play 8 hours of video games every day. Real gamer status. How are you a child? How do you have the time to play that many video games, that much video gaming? I do this really for a living, and I don't have the time to play that many video games a day. But what I do have time to do, I have time to do, if I can find my fucking mouse, I have time to, shit, fuck, motherfucker, goddamn, shit, fuck, hang on. Oh, Jaffe, you old knucklehead. 8 hours, that's a lot. That's a lot of gameplay. And hang on, we're going to get this show started. I just got to find, what you have to understand is these glasses that I wear for this fucking show, they block out, like, they are incredibly good costume glasses. And it's very hard for me to see the yellow cursor. For some stupid reason, I've made it yellow. But the point is, without the cursor, I am unable to press this button. Let's begin the show. Welcome to the 10th of December, 2024. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Good God. It's getting on to Christmas time. Good to see everybody. Welcome to Gabin Games. I appreciate you being here. This is the show where we stay focused, if we can, on video games that we love, games coming out, the news of the gaming world, all kinds of things like that. So hopefully that is why you are here. Let me get to some of the chat, and then we will get right into the news. Lutron is loving Marvel Rivals. I get it. The art style is great. Will David Jaffe ever play D&D with us? Sure. I got a bit, listen, one of our God of War members, Hectorhowl, is DMing a game that is, he says it's going to run probably 22 sessions that we would stream on this very channel. And I got to just make sure I can commit to 22 weekends to D&D, which I love. So I'm getting into it. The older I get, the more I'm getting into it. So yeah, I'll play D&D with you. But absolutely. Matthew says the guy in the chat who plays 8 hours a day, I think it's Will. It's bordering on gaming addiction. I guess, I used to believe that, and I still sort of believe that. But I've talked about this book before called Reality is Broken. And the thesis of the book is that the real world is becoming shittier and shittier, and things are getting more and more gamified. And why would you not escape, right? There's a point where you have to go, all the nobility of saying things like, oh, touch grass and go out in the real world. No, yeah, it's fine. But I'm not even fucking with you on this. It's really true. Video games, even though, yes, they're not quote real. And I know they're not real. So you're like, why would you putting that in quotes? Because who knows what's real, right? Everything's molecules and atoms and quarks, and who the fuck knows, but based on the general thesis of the way we talk about things, games are not real. No, but the real world for a lot of people is really hard, and it's getting worse, and it's getting less fair, and it's getting more corrupt. And so why would you tell someone who wants to spend most of their time living in a world where it's actually, there's some rules that apply to everyone, and that it's there to make you feel better? What's noble about not being in that space as often as you can? But I'm not an idiot. I get it. It's not the real world, and you can't run from your problems, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, there is a point where you have to start to say how much of that mentality that we've been fed about the noble view of how to live a good life is really just capitalist assholes trying to get us to show up to work. That's what I'm asking. Arathizzle says the real world is awesome. What? To you? And, I'm a pretty big fan of the real world, but the fact of the matter is that, there's a lot of corrupt shit going on, man. There's a lot of corrupt shit in this world, and there's a lot of people that are getting the short end of the stick, and they've done nothing wrong. And there's also systems in place to keep the systems in place. And so what do you want them to do? It's almost like, not only do we want you to have a corrupt society in which to live, we want you to consistently, constantly have your nose pressed in it, and sorry, no escape for you. Fuck you is what I would say to that. There's my pal Gina. There's old Gina in the chat. We can do that interview whenever you want now that Thanksgiving's over, if you're still doing it. Okay, it's weird that people will judge, says Scarlet Panic, other people for playing games, reading books, watching shows. I don't know. I think judging is... It is weird, but it's probably normal. Can something normal be weird? I don't know. But judging people probably makes you feel better about yourself, right? It's why all the talk shows did so well with Montel Williams and Jerry Springer and all that. Cause it's like, at least I'm not as dumb as that guy. Excuse me. Jaffe, why didn't you change after the previous stream? Because I'm a fucking grown man. I'm not a fucking fashion model, because that's what I wore this morning when I got out of the shower. And guess what? It's the same day. How often, how many, costume changes, Addy Pie, do you have per day? Good fucking God. My goodness. Okay, Arathizzle, don't come at me with that shit. I love you to death, and I also agree with you about your Indiana Jones take. But he says facing challenge is part of the greatness of the real world. I get it. This is the problem when anyone we have been. This is a game show because we're talking about games, so fuck off. This is the problem when anyone tries to buttress up against the standard way of thinking. It immediately has these protectors, or kind of like fanboys of, oh, you're overweight, here's what you should do. You do this, work out, do this. Oh, you're bitching about life, here's what you should do. This is how life can be great. It's like everybody wants to be a fucking Anthony Robbins motivational speaker or something all of a sudden. I'm not saying you should give up the real world. I'm not saying you should walk away from your responsibilities. I'm not saying there's not joy that comes on the other side of hardship. I get all of that, and all of that is true. And at the same time, it's getting more and more corrupt, and it's getting harder and harder for people. And I do not deny them or shame them because they're like, you know what? I'm going to take a fucking break, and I'm going to take a long break, and I'm escaping from this horse shit. That's all I'm saying. Wonderful, Kevin. I'm thrilled. Good for you. Enjoy that. I don't trust Tony Robbins either. You ever meet somebody who goes to one of those Tony Robbins motivational speaker places and they come back and for like 3 days, they're going to change the world and they're talking like they talk and, you know, they're saying all the right things and parroting all the horse shit. And then 5 days later, they're back to the same shit because it's all just a fucking grift like anything else. Okay. All right. Have I played the new Power Rangers game? No, it just came out today and I'm still playing Indiana Jones. The one thing I'll say, I was watching the chat earlier, watching, who was it who said this? It was Arath Izzle. He said that he's playing Indy. He's played about 6 hours. He likes Indiana Jones, but he actually thinks Star Wars and Dragon Age Veilguard are better games. I don't necessarily think he's wrong. You know, I find myself in... I don't know what part of the game I'm in. Let's just say I'm in Egypt somewhere, okay? And if it wasn't for Indiana Jones, if it wasn't for the absolute beautiful representation of being Indiana Jones in his world, the moment-to-moment game loop is solid, but it doesn't... Navigating the space does not feel as good as Dragon Age. Combat feels okay. Like the actual individual pieces of mechanics are fine. The stealth is fine, but the AI is, and I'm glad the AI is a joke because otherwise it probably would be too hard for me. But the AI are bone stupid. I mean, to the point that I've never worked on a game with AI before, like sneaking AI, like stealth. So I don't really know. I mean, it must be a real hard programming challenge because that's always, or that's often one of the things you see in games that they just can't do it in a way that's consistently good. Like you can make all this racket and crazy noise around these Nazi guys and they just don't hear it. You can kill somebody clearly in the view cone of someone else and they just do nothing. You know, it's like, what is, you know, which again, it doesn't hurt the game for me because I love the adventure it's giving me. I'm not looking for a great stealth simulator. If I was playing a game like Desperados 3, which is clearly built on that, I would be like, okay, this doesn't work. But yeah, I would agree with Arath Izzle. I think the moment-to-moment gameplay of Indiana Jones is good. The window dressing and the fantasy and the adventure and the immersion of Indiana Jones is sublime and brilliant and wonderful. But I agree. I agree. It's nice to see, says Scarlet, an Xbox game getting good reviews. Maybe they're making a comeback. Look, man, you got to give Xbox credit, whether it's accidental or it's the magic of Phil and Booty coming together. I don't know, coming together. But you know, look, man. Even though yes, did they develop Call of Duty? No, but you've got Call of Duty, you've got Stalker 2, you've got Flight Sim, which does have great reviews. You've got Indiana Jones, and then you've got Avowed, which looks on track to be pretty fucking good. So yeah, I mean, it's amazing what you can do when you buy all your talent. But that said, though, hey, whatever it takes, every company uses the assets they have to get ahead, and good for them. I will finish the game, yeah, because I love it. It's fucking excellent. It's fucking excellent. It's just, you know, for what it is. Stealth isn't hard. The balance to keeping people from getting upset is hard. Alien had awesome stealth, but it was difficult, says Jacob. Well, it must be hard because you're talking about a premier developer that clearly is... maybe what's hard about it is making the visual representation of what the player sees or think he sees match up with what the AI, which might be working totally correct, but match up with those two things. That's when it feels like it's broken, but maybe it's not. Jaffe, be real. If you were to create an Indiana Jones game, would you have added more info? The game. into the game. I mean, I think the game is great. I think the issue right now with where I'm at in the game, which is Egypt, is that it's at that part in the game where the systems are no longer new, and the story is kind of at a point where it's almost like the game feels like it's good enough to rest on its systems, and it's not. And so the first couple of acts of the game, there was enough interesting stuff happening in the narrative or the exploration or the level design. But the minute they give you Egypt, and it's like, hey, it's bigger, it's more meandering. There's lots of like collect all 4 of these before you can advance, and you're really just left to your own devices with the systems of the game. It's where it shows its biggest weakness and where I kind of start to get a little bored. But no, I will absolutely finish it for sure because I love Indiana Jones and I love the game. But yeah, I'm absolutely playing it and recognizing the weaknesses. And so when Rathizel says he thinks Star Wars and I think Dragon Age has a much better game loop than Indiana Jones. Easy. Okay. If it's on Game Pass as Royal Flush, it may as well be an exclusive to Xbox. I mean, it is for now, and it won't be in the spring, right? So, but I agree. Why pay $80 for a game when you have Game Pass? That was always my thing. I was just like, yeah, put them out on everything, and then make Game Pass where you can get them quote for free and advertise that, which nobody is. So okay. Anyway, whatever. Da Vinci says, I swear if God of War 2018 and Ragnarok are just a dream from Morpheus, that could put us back in Greece. I don't understand that, but what I will tell you is that there are 2 big rumors about the Game Awards coming up this Thursday, which we will be watching on the Discord, members only, any tier, mods only, any place you're a mod. But and maybe I'll stream it to YouTube, maybe I won't, we'll see. But it's going to be a members only event where we're hanging out and talking and shooting the shit and eating and watching and smoking and whatever. But one of them is that there is going to be a reveal of the God of War Greek remaster, remake, whatever it is they're doing. I don't know, which I think would be really, really cool. Jacob says there's a report from little Jason Schreier, saying that 2 games will make us say holy shit this weekend or at the Game Awards. So people are assuming it's probably God of War. The other one, which really surprised me, I have not heard talk of this, and I cannot believe that this is a real thing. I mean, I'm glad it is because I'd like to go back and play it and finish it. But is a Unreal 5 remaster of Days Gone? Like, this is not like a fantasy thing. I'm seeing this a lot, that people are like, it's almost like it goes without saying that we are going to see an Unreal 5 version of Days Gone. But I like, why are you remastering and remaking this if the first one couldn't even get a sequel? Maybe Sony looks at it and says, you know what, this is a really good game, and it is very different than Last of Us. Conceptually, I get that they're similar, but maybe if we really plus it up and we need more content, the work is mostly done. Let's fucking push it out there. Hopefully they'll remove the golf cart scene. Johnny. It really should. Yeah, I loved it. I came to it on PS5, and so all the bugs that apparently it launched with were not really a problem for me. So yeah, if they're going to put out a remaster version, I will absolutely play that. It was a really, really, really good game. And I'll tell you what else they did in that game that I loved was that they, I don't see enough people, and I know it sounds so dumb because when people told me the only gyroscope stuff I really had much experience with was playing Heavenly Sword, where you can throw like the Xena Warrior Princess thing and you can kind of steer it like this. I'm like, oh, stupid gimmick bullshit. But when you actually go into first person mode in that game, or aim down sights mode in that game, any weapon, and you can actually aim with this, you never want to go back and play at least a single player shooter without that. And I just don't see many people doing it. Like, I wish Star Wars would have done it. It was fucking excellent, man. But I love this game. I think it's great. I think it's really, really great. And so I'm hoping that's true. I don't know. Just like I have no knowledge of God of War being remastered. Garvin, even if I asked him and he knew, he probably couldn't tell me, but he probably has no knowledge. They don't keep me in the loop. They don't owe me being in the loop. So, but we'll see. And as to the other one, maybe it's God of War, maybe it's something else, but it should be a fun show, and I am absolutely looking forward to watching it with you guys coming up Thursday. I've got pot coming in the mail, not the mail, but the delivery guy's bringing the pot. we're going to be good to go. Gina, are you there? What are you doing on the night? Would you like to sort of co-host the stream with me? Would you like to be in there and talking to the people and anybody else? I mean, everybody can talk, so it's not like we're doing a hosting thing, but you should be there, especially because your old boy is going to be there up on the stage. You know who we're talking about. We were talking about him. People on the stream were talking about him before the show started, comparing him to Ken Levine. He's going to be there. You've got one-on-one experience with the man, the myth, the legend, Kojima. That should be some fun stories you can share if you get really drunk. Come on now. Okay. No, Gene's not going to be there. Gene wrote me yesterday, Gene Park from the Washington Post, and I guess he's starting to stream, which I think is great for him. I think he will be very successful at it. And he said he's going to be blogging and streaming at the same time. Oh, shut up, Gina. Nobody, you don't want to be a paralegal. Come be in this thing. You're a gamer first and foremost. Fuck paralegal bullshit. What are you going to do? Sue people who genuinely are good people? I got nothing. I'm just trying to talk you out of it to get you to come to the stream. Good for you. Go do your thing. Okay. Losing Gene's a shame. Fuck you. Fuck you. Gene's the opening act, you son of a bitch. No, Gene's great. And I think it's great he's going to be streaming. You're going to be at the movies watching Kraven the Hunter, Alex. Yeah, enjoy that. I mean, look, the first 8 minutes that they released of Kraven the Hunter looked really good, actually. I was kind of like, yeah, I want to see that. I definitely want to see that. But I'm not looking to see it. I'm not going to go to the theater to see it. What if somebody spots me watching a Spider-Man Sony Marvel movie in the theater? I could never live it down. Okay. Is it just me getting high? I don't know. Look, here's what I'm saying. If you're a member and you come to the Diet Soda Soldier Room the night of the awards, I will be in there and I will be watching the Game Awards and I will be smoking dope. Okay? That's all I know. But I'm not going to make it a thing. Here's the thing. I figured what we would do instead was just, do it like a members only thing. People pay, and I'm always trying every week to give them something to kind of make them feel good about their payment. And I figure, okay, we'll have more of an intimate watch party together. That's what I'm thinking. That's what we're doing. Jingle Jangle says, smoking dope, I'm in. You goddamn right. Dark Shadowy Place says, me too. Okay. Can we make a crazy bet or something unexpected will happen at the Game Awards? I don't know, man. I don't know if Jeff Keighley really, if he really was bothered by the Bill Clinton kid or not. I think that's great. As long as people are safe, that's great when shit like that happens. But, obviously his number one goal is to, not have somebody storm the stage and shoot people. But assuming that is the case, I like when crazy shit happens, man. Okay. Let's move into some news. Jaffe, I like it when you put a poll up for voting. I'm thrilled, Alex. That's wonderful. I'm glad you like that, sir. But I'll have some polls up for sure. Why not? Hello, BT. Okay. Let's move on to the stories of the day. Look at this guy, this little shooter. Luigi Mangione was a, quote, video game killer. It's the guy who shot the CEO of United Health. According to NBC News, they said he once belonged to a group of gamers who played as assassins. And then this is from Culture Crave. The game in question where he was an assassin? Among Us. It's like, that health CEO guy looks pretty sus, boys. Let me take him out. Come on, man. I mean, again, the guy, what it's starting to look like is this guy was a totally relatively normal human. And he had this operation where he got some, on his spine, and he kind of lost his shit over the last 3 months where it's affected his mental health and this and that and the other. My guess is that if he wants to get off scot-free, and who the fuck knows, they'll probably try to plead something like that. It's like, look, this guy was, in 20 kinds of mental and physical pain because of a botched operation. But I don't know. That's just what I keep hearing. So we'll see. But apparently beware, because he was an assassin in the games he played. But he was a gamer. He was a game developer. Worked, it sounds like, at Firaxis on Civilization 6. He played Pokemon. He played this. More and more people are just, most people play games now, Pay for his lawyers, Eric says, since you think he's such a hero. I don't think he's such a hero. I think I get his point. Right. Kevin says this is what happens when the cracks of capitalism start to show, and capitalism being in its death throes, as people say. I understand his anger, and I'm not going to get into it with you. I mean, you know, I don't think he's a hero, but I don't fault him for what he did either, is what I would tell you. Okay. So I'm thrilled you do, but that's not me. Okay. Listen to this. Somebody wrote me the other day. It was, he might be in the chat right now. I just want to cover this real quick before we get to today's news. But this was yesterday. We were talking about AI, and somebody wrote me and said, do you think, I think it was 2D Man. He says, do you think the original God of War would have been as successful or memorable if you had created it entirely by yourself using AI? Without any input or ideas from anyone else. And somebody wrote, Maddie Fro wrote, your made-up scenario to Jaffe is extremely flawed. For one, no one is saying you can't work with the team if you're using AI, blah, blah, blah. And then 2D Man wrote back and said, my point is Jaffe was able to create God of War because of the right timing, right tech, right place with right specific people. The game became what it is because of these factors. And the answer is, of course, that's right. But what you have to understand about the creative process, or really any process that is about achievement and success. Yes, I'm playing indie on GeForce Now and it plays beautifully. What you have to understand about the creative process is, you know, there are a lot of people, and I was one of them, that I was going to be successful in a creative field or I was going to die trying, right? And so it wasn't so much, even though, yes, God of War as it stands, as it's been defined, exists as is because I got lucky with that team. I had great ideas. I had great, you know, design experience that I could, on the design front and the writing front, bring those ideas to life, the directing front. I had amazing, you know, CEO and great art director, great producing, all of that. And in that, great co-writers. In that, we got that game called God of War. So no, do I think if I sat down at a computer all by myself with AI, it would have been the same game? Of course not. But it would have been a game that eventually would have made a mark. Now, it may not have made me as successful. Maybe I would have been more successful. Maybe it would have been a cult hit. But I was not going to get off the fucking stage of the creative arts until I had done something that I really felt came from my soul. And that's anyone who works in the creative world. It's not about the specifics. It's you're the engine, and the teammates are the engine too, because they're their own stories. But you're asking me personally, you're the engine of your creative adventure. And so wherever you get put, whatever sort of car you get put into, you're going to drive it. It doesn't have to be God of War. But it would have been something. So that's what I would fucking tell you. That would be my answer, sir. Okay. Kevin says, honestly, xCloud maybe made me a believer in cloud gaming. The one thing I'd like to know about cloud gaming is what am I getting for being right? Like, am I going to get a parade? Are you guys going to bake me a cake? Am I going to get like a, you know, stock in Apple or what's in it for me at this point? Because I have been saying forever how great this shit is. And now people are starting to go, oh, it's pretty great if it works for you. I'm like, yeah, I know. Just like back in the day, oh, no one's going to go digital, Jaffe. What are you talking about? Me and Cliff Bleszinski were talking in 2012 about it at a GameStop event in Vegas. And we're both like, yeah, man, of course, it's all going digital. And people are like, no, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I'm like, fuck, what do you mean? Of course people are going to go digital. No, we love our physical. I know you love your physical. But no one cares. Most people don't care. BT says, I use xCloud on the Steam Deck. It's only getting better and better. We got a Solid Mister in the chat who's been a member, but apparently he's been banned. Don't ask me why. We didn't know. We figured it out. Thanks to the mods for bringing that to my attention for Solid Mister. I apologize about that. He says, I feel the same way. I won't stop till I make my mark. Right. it'll, the best advice I ever got was from a very, as movie executives go, Jeffrey Katzenberg, very famous movie executive, was at USC one time. And he said, somebody raised their hand. This was such a great story, so I tell it more than I should. If you're a longtime viewer of the show, you're like, yeah, we've heard it, Jaffe, but maybe one person hasn't, and it's worth hearing. Someone in the audience, it was a bunch of film students, raised their hands and said, well, how can I make it? It's so competitive. What can I do to make it or increase my chances of making it? And he says, you know what? The people in the audience who are actually going to work in film and, quote, make it, nothing I say, they're going to listen to if it doesn't resonate. And if it does resonate, he's like, it doesn't matter what I say. The people who are going to make it are the ones who are going to figure out how to make it on their own. Everyone's going to have their own story. Everyone's going to have their own challenges and rewards and successes. But if you just keep banging your head against the wall and assuming you have enough talent, or if not, maybe you figure out how to get the talent, you'll make it, right? That's the only thing that you have control over. So you may as well embrace it. All right. I only buy physical if I can get a game for cheaper. Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, for you specifically, I get it. And for a lot of people specifically, I get it. But, fundamentally, most people are going to go with the cheapest, easiest, lowest barrier of entry, and that's ultimately streaming, and that's digital. So, and it'll continue to be so. So, all right. Let's move forward. Starscream says, I love my runestones. I don't have to tell you about that, but I've never seen that in the chat before, so I figured, cool. All right. Look at this. This is interesting. I want to ask you guys this question because I hear this a lot. Which is a lot of people say games aren't as good as they used to be. Games, blah, blah, blah. And it's the complaint a lot of these people have. And I've always thought, and I still think to an extent, that this is nostalgia, right? If you're in your 20s and 30s, oh, why aren't they like they used to be? Well, because you were a kid and there's a lot of things that were different that contributed to that, right? So this group did a study, and the study's almost 2 years old now, but it's the most recent I could find, Medea. Not Tyler Perry's Medea, you old knuckleheads. Medea says, is the quality of games going down? Here's what they found. They looked into user rating data from trueachievements.com, and they analyzed the first year of the new Xbox ecosystem, Xbox Series X, and the last year of the last Xbox, basically, right? And they were like, okay, let's see what we're getting here, right? And here's what he found. The first observation is there are more games being released this generation, and this is sort of the crux of it, compared to last generation. There have been a 63% increase from 295 releases in 2014, which was the launch of Xbox One, to 480 in 2021, where we were in the first year of Xbox X. He says this is partly due to reduced barriers of entry for small and indie devs, as well as the increasingly platform agnostic thinking in the business and the growth in financial investment within the game business. So you have a lot more games, basically, right? So it says True Achievement collects user game ratings out of 5 for games they've played, which helps measure gamers' sentiment towards each year releases. I'm just reading directly from the article. This is research by Perry Grisham. In 2014, the average rating of a game was 3.5 out of 5, but it has now dropped to 2.9 out of 5. This indicates gamers believe the quality of games in general has dropped. But he says, interesting, looking at just the best games, the best rated games of 2021, the same number released in 2014, by the way, the median score hasn't changed, 3.5. This suggests the drop in quality is partly dilution due to a greater number of games being released, right? So, I know that that's not the main issue for some people who only play AAA, but if you do play lots of games or expose yourself to lots of games, because there are so many more games being made and released and sold and given to you by subscription models and whatnot, you are mathematically going to find more games you don't like. But I don't think that's what people mean when they complain about Star Wars or Dragon Age or Indiana Jones or whatever. He says, conversely, the bad games are rising with the number of games rated under 2.5, up a massive 753% from 19 to 162. In 2014, these bad games under 2.5 out of 5-star rated games by these users was just 6%, but now they make up 34%. He says, again, this likely links to a barrier of entry resulting in a reduced level of quality control. and is in part an unintended consequences of the positive move towards easier publishing for indies and many of the titles coming from smaller studios. So, but he says, end of the day, ultra high quality games that are rated 4.5 or more have doubled in number from 8 to 16. They still only represent the same proportion, 3%, but there's more games being released. So he says games aren't getting worse in the sense that there are fewer great games to play, but the number of bad games is growing faster. Given the increase in the number of releases over time, it begs the question, are game companies comprising quality for the sake of quantity, given the current production and release pace of the business? I think it's interesting. I think it's really, really interesting. The other thing they say is that the fandom is fragmented now, and that contributes to the conversation of like, where's all the hype and why don't people, it's not like it used to be. He says players per game was down 74% from an average game was played by 15,000 people. Now it's just 4,000 because there's so many games. He says the trend is even stronger for games rated over 4 out of 5 and up, down 82%. Which suggests less shared cultural moments centered around larger new releases. So it's interesting to me because I really, I wanted to ask the chat about this because I'm trying to figure out, like, I hear this a lot and I can't quite figure out, I'll put a link right here. I can't quite figure out, because P. Turtle, believe it or not, said something that I thought was relatively wise. I know, broken clock though. The other day to me, he says, well, the thing you have to understand, Jaffe, now again, I was there at the beginning of this, so it's not like I made video games and I wasn't never a gamer first. I was a gamer and not a maker all the way up until PS1, right? So, but yes, PS1, 2, 3, and a little bit of 4, I was making games. And, I had a very different perspective on this. But he said the thing you have to understand is a lot of us that were playing games just as fans during that period, you're looking at games today and you're able to encounter them on PS5 as a fan, and you don't have that shared experience, so you can't understand that they're not as good as they used to be. Maybe there's some truth in that, but there's probably more truth to the fact that if you're playing games and you're citing games were better on PS1, 2, and 3 era, it's probably because you were really young, right? I mean, the number of people, hell, I'll go back, yeah.
Did you order it?
No, but I will. It'll be here tonight. You going to Mom's?
Yeah.
All right, baby. No, it's fine. I'll play games and I'll still talk about the great games of Atari. But I mean, I'm not a moron. I understand that so much of that, other than just sort of the historical value of the Atari games and the old arcade games, they're not great games. You don't want to play a lot of those games other than nostalgia. So I think part of P. Turtle's thing is that he was young back then, but we'll see. But I'm very interested in this because you get a lot of this in the zeitgeist right now. Games are shit. Games are terrible. This happened today. We're not going to get into politics really on this stream, but it's hard to talk about games these days and not at least dance around the culture war. My favorite moron, Grums, literally posted this. This is ridiculous, but here's what he posted. He says, pull it together, team. What is this? This guy thinks he's what? The coach in Friday Night Lights? What is he doing? Pull it together, team, he says. They are trying to use this to confuse, disrupt, and defeat you from taking back gaming. Stop this petty infighting and focus on the goal. Everybody fights, nobody quits. How is he not laughed off Twitter? How is there not a secret ejection seat button that Elon Musk has put into Twitter that ultimately, when someone talks like this, triggers one of two things: an automatic ban, aka ejection from Twitter because you're embarrassing the human race, or an automatic request that maybe a therapist needs to pay like a health check home visit on this guy. Stop this petty infighting and focus on the goal. Everybody fights, nobody quits. And then he has the gall to post Michael Ironside, the badass guy of fucking Starship Troopers and all kinds of other movies. Like, yeah, Grums, you're their Michael Ironside. Can you imagine if Grums was sort of the equivalent of Michael Ironside? What would his followers be at that point? They would be like Chet in, Weird Science. It's the strangest thing. It's the strangest fucking thing. Ravno says Grums is the marching band leader of Chud marching band, and Elon loves this type of talk. It's so dorky. It's so embarrassing and dorky. But anyway, the point being on all of this is that, yeah, I don't think this narrative that, oh, games are terrible. Games are bad. We have to save games. Shut up. Shut up. The games are awesome. Games are so fucking good right now. Come on, man. They've always been good. Hello, Ricardo. Jaffe, did I come to a conclusion about Grand Theft Auto? No, I mean, I'm going to play it. I'm excited to play it. But, I mean, here, you know what's interesting, Ricardo? Somebody wrote me this. Chad Williamson of the Connecticut Williamsons. God, that family smells like cheese. It's so weird. They're not bad people. He says, can we just talk about how great Grand Theft Auto is going to be? Why does every conversation have to be about politics? Here's what I told him. I said, it's not, but I would argue Grand Theft Auto without politics stances, takes on culture and such is probably not that interesting, given how many open world games have come out and moved the ball down the field since GTA 5 hit. Also, given we have no real info at the moment on the moment-to-moment gameplay. So what else is there to talk about as it relates to the title? So fundamentally, I was just curious. Like, I don't have a problem if GTA wants to go as far as some of the things that we were talking about yesterday. Like, holy shit, that would be a hell of a scenario. But I know a lot of people weren't comfortable with that. But I think shit like that is interesting as it relates to what are people willing to do, you know? And I did a tweet a while back that I still get shit on because people think I was advocating any kind of actual violence, let alone violence against minorities, which was not the point. And I'm sure people know that wasn't the point, but they like to kind of make hay out of shit. But regardless, though, you know, short of that, though, really, we don't know much about Grand Theft Auto. Darth Nugget says, have they really moved the ball down the field? What other AAA open world games have really innovated? Well, Elden Ring certainly has. I mean, you know, define innovation. Are you talking production value? Or are you talking gameplay? I think Elden Ring certainly was innovative in terms of bringing a certain kind of combat and a certain kind of multiple solutions to multiple problem mentality to the game. Certainly Grand Theft Auto had that with sandboxing and emergent gameplay, but it wasn't as grand in a lot of ways as Elden Ring. I think, you know, you've got what's the fucking big open world game? Stalker 2, right? You've got Stalker 2 that looks amazing, that has a lot more multiple solves to multiple solutions to different problems. Cyberpunk is well and above a better open world game at this point than Grand Theft Auto 5, in my opinion. And again, that's not knocking Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm just saying that until we really understand how the multiple Bonnie and Clyde characters work together, or have they come up with a language of emergence that, let me rephrase this. When we were doing God of War after the first God of War, we spent a lot of time talking about vocabulary of puzzles, right? It was like God of War 1 had levers and pressure plates and things you could push, maybe two other things. And it's like, yeah, we can continue to try to come up with fresh ways to do that, but we should also come up with some more vocabulary, some more verbs of puzzle solving in God of War. Well, similarly, I think, you know, if you look at emergent behavior, like Grand Theft Auto 3 was the first game I played where you could do something like your car was about to explode and you could crash it into another car and that would cause an explosion and a chain reaction. And if it was around cops or firemen or something, that would trigger their AI. I think there's a sense that, you know, if they come to the table and say, we've gone up a level when it comes to emergent gameplay, we've come up with 10 new items or vocabulary words, basically, that allow you to play with the world in a way that really gets these cool emergent results, that would be great. You know, the other thing that I think would be great would be AI NPCs. Assuming it's affordable, that they could go in and you could actually, we've seen mods do this already with Grand Theft Auto 5, where you can use something like ChatGPT and actually have real conversations with these characters, and the characters stay in the world of GTA, but there's a sense of like, holy shit, these guys are alive, right? Ricardo says, I think you're greatly underestimating GTA 5, Jaffe. Give the PS5 version a go. I've played it. I mean, I haven't played the PS5 version. I've played the Xbox Series X version. And it's great. I'm not knocking it. I'm not insulting Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm simply saying that I don't think, based on what we've seen, that there's a lot to talk about. The guy's basically asking me, why can't we just talk about how great the game's going to be? And I'm just saying we don't know anything about the game yet, other than, oh, it looks like another big open world GTA game, which sounds great. But we can't, what do you want to talk about, right? But sure, I'm sure once those things start revealing themselves, we'll have plenty to talk about, is what I would say. If GTA 6 has the kind of emergent gameplay that Metal Gear 5 has, it will be fantastic. I haven't played 5, but Metal Gear 5. But I would have to assume that they'll need to go beyond that, right? Hidden says AI is soulless, and if you read the generated chat, it will be far less impactful than the one that is scripted. I don't agree with you at all, but, you know, your mileage will vary. If you direct compare Night City to Los Santos, it falls apart. It looks real neat and has more goof-ass weirdos, but interactivity is lacking. Not saying Cyberpunk is bad. Okay, cool. But in terms of the sense of the immersion of the world, the sense of living in the world, to me, is much more pulled off much more realistically and powerfully in Cyberpunk, is my take. Okay. Anyway, there's my answer, Ricardo. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking forward to it like everybody else. I'm not, that's wrong. I'm not looking forward to it like everybody else. A lot of you guys, understandably, are absolutely super duper fucking hardcore GTA folks. And I've never been that. I've just never fucking been that. But I do like it and I do appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to playing it. But, okay. Jaffe on the recent show with Colt, Mag, I don't know who Mag is, talked about you again. It wasn't positive vibes. Well, what can I do about that? What do I care? I don't even know who Mag is. So why would I care what they say about me? The police have been fixed in Cyberpunk. Yeah, we're going to watch that video in a couple of minutes. Not the whole thing, but some clips of it. The CD Projekt Red drop from this morning. Some classic Call of Duty games might be coming to the Game Pass, fellas. Might be coming to Game Pass. Okay, I tell you what, if it's a short clip and you guys really want to watch me respond to Mag, responding to me, I'm happy to watch it if it's quick. But what I don't want to do is derail the fucking stream. But I want to get through the news first, and if that's something you guys want to watch together, we can watch some of it. But whatever. I don't really care. I mean, I care if you want to do it. I'd like to give you what you want, but I'm not going to go searching for it if you guys don't want to watch it. So Call of Duty 1, 2, and OG Modern Warfare now in the Xbox PC store, which is sort of to them a hint that might mean it's coming to Game Pass, as that sometimes does happen. My real question on that is, do you care? I mean, other than nostalgia, like Modern Warfare has been remade, and I think it's better other than nostalgia. Call of Duty 2 is great. Call of Duty 1 single-player campaign is great for its time, but do you really want to go back and play those? Maybe you do. I don't know, but I certainly could not spend much time in these old games. I will say the last great multiplayer game in Call of Duty before it kind of got reinvented, I did love. I want to say Xbox 360 launched with Call of Duty 3, and I think it was 4-player split screen, and I remember that being really, really, really fun. But this is coming probably, so hey, yay. I would much rather, I saw a trailer the other day from the Transformers game made by Platinum. And I played a demo of it and I liked it, but I was busy with something at Sony and I just never really, or Bartlett Jones or whatever, never really got into it. But the rumor is that Hasbro's like, yeah, we're down. We'd love to bring the Transformer games to Game Pass. So I hope that happens. That would be exciting. I don't know if you've played that game, but it's really cool. If you've seen the trailer, can I at least show you the trailer? I know a lot of you guys have already played it, but this trailer is batshit wonderful. YouTube, and then it's Transformers Platinum. Speaking of Transformers, has anybody seen that movie with Megan Fox? She's the robot. It's on Netflix right now. Here you go, Transformers Devastation. Launch trailer. Let's just watch that and then we'll move on to some other stuff. Here we go.
Insecticons. Welcome, Autobots. You plan to cyberform Earth. I don't plan to do anything. I have already started. Autobots, We must move quickly.
Sounds like fun.
I'm gonna feed you your own spot, Autobot! Now, see if you can beat me!
I did not see that coming.
It's over, Megatron. I will not let you take my victory away from me!
All right, so people in the chat who have it, the trailer handpicks the good parts. That's what trailers do. Lots of boring crap in between. And you're saying this is on PS Plus? PS Plus, Transformers. If it's already on PS Plus, great. Transformers Devastation. Colin Prime says he played it and it was awesome. Okay. Did they maybe pull it off PS Plus? Because I don't see it anywhere here. But it's a 77 on Metacritic, so that's not bad. It says PS4 here, but okay. Anyway, so hopefully that'll happen. But I'm excited. My point is, I'm more excited for that coming from Activision than I would be excited for Call of Duty 1, 2, and the original Modern Warfare. But hey, your mileage will absolutely vary. Bukaki says maybe it didn't get delisted. Could have been. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Okay. Check this out. This game right now, this game is, in my opinion, it is better than Astrobot. Whatever, fuck you. It doesn't have the nostalgia berries of Astrobot. I get it, okay? But it is a better platformer, in my opinion. It's better looking. It is fun. It's hard only if you want it to be hard. It just does a better job altogether. Anyway, the point is, if you want it on PC, it'll cost you only $13 right now. If you want to get it over at Amazon on PC, a code, I think. I don't hate Astrobot at all. I think Astrobot's great. It's just not, it's not my kind of platformer. Like for me, this feels more like a Ratchet platformer. It's more of an adventure game that has platforming. Astrobot to me feels much more like it is a, not that it's super hard, although I struggled with parts of it, but more that it is, it's a real platformer's platformer. Like it feels like a classic Mark Cerny platformer. This feels to me much more like a cool, fun Sackboy adventure kind of thing. Anyway, point is, if you've been curious about it, I think it's on PS Plus, but it might not be. But if you want to own it on PC, it'll cost you $13. If you want to buy it on PS4, PS5 Special Edition, you get a little plushy dude. He's $50. Just wanted to let you know. Will I ever return to Metroid Dread? Ryan says it's one of the best games of generation. Maybe just for fun to see what people think. You know what I didn't like about Metroid Dread was beyond the obvious that I didn't like about it is I really struggled with the timing of that robot that chases you. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I didn't, that's what it was. I'm thinking back now. It's been a while. I didn't like the Mr. X aspect of that game, right? Even after I got past the part that frustrated me because the onboarding, I didn't like that every now and then or every so often you'd have to deal with this just like running and hiding thing. But some people love it. I get it. That's great, but it's not for me. But I am interested to try out the first-person Metroid coming out pretty soon. Oh, also, you can get it if you just want to buy it right now and on your PS5, PS4 without the toy, without the stuffed animal, whatever. It'll only cost you $20. So, and it is included on PS Plus Extra. So keep that in mind. I'm in an age I can't get into Metroidvania, says Ricardo. I still can, but I think you're younger than I am, though. But what's the game I was playing? even it might be a little bit. I mean, Star Wars has a bit of a Metroidvania structure to it. Indie might. I got to a point last night where I'm like, I don't have what I need to advance in these sections. I think I need to go find something. But I think that's more of a pure puzzle thing versus a Metroidvania, kind of open up the world with this ability thing. But, you know, who knows? Anyway. Okay, what do we got, boys? This is, we're going to be seeing for sure Joseph Fair's new game at the Game Awards. They put this out, little wink and a nudge, little, hey, how's your father, whatever. Minute and 39 seconds. Let's watch it together. This will be coming up this Thursday night. Here we go.
Hello guys, this is Joseph Forrest. Welcome to Hazelight. When you come in here, you see this area with all the awards that we got. Game of the Year, that was a couple of years ago, but it was a great moment. Yes. Show me, what are you working on?
Yeah, we're working on the boss here.
It's a big boss in the game. You guys gonna go nuts when you see him. Here's our mocap room. Here's where the actual magic happens. This is Mio and Zoe, our beautiful actresses. They're based on my daughters. My daughters' name are Mio and Zoe. A bit pain in the ass sometimes, but oh, you love them so much, it's crazy. Okay, so let's play a little bit. A lot of people say I'm cocky, but it's impossible not to be cocky when you have a game like this in front of you. I'm telling you, you will see what I mean when you play it. All right, that's it for gaming. You know, one thing that people don't recognize enough is the sound at Hazelight. Can you play some cool sounds here?
Listen to this.
I have an idea where you're gonna use them. We're working so hard at Hazelight, it's incredible.
Yes,
it's so tough. Oh, good, yes. Like we say at Hazelight, we fuck shit up without fucking up. Because that is us. Great, guys. Follow me, I'm gonna show you something more. The FX crew in the house. All right, can you show me a little bit of the glitches? We're gonna show them about
My
the glitches
wife.
here. What the? Are you serious? What color is this? I told you not to have... That's it, I hope you had a great time. Let me... Oh, wait a minute. Look at this guy. What's up, Jeff? Ah, it's time for Fuck the Oscars, huh? I'm fucking with you. Of course I see you at the Game Awards. We're gonna show some great gameplay there, let me tell you that. It's time for you to go now. Have a good one. I see you later.
Cool. I'm in. I want to see what it is. You know, I've never met the guy. He follows me. I follow him. Seems like a fun guy. I don't know if he'd be fun to work with. He might be like, dude, too much sugar. But I'm in. I'm excited to see what he's got. I loved the last game he did. It was excellent. Yeah, I agree, Matthew. The guy makes fantastic games. Absolutely. Absolutely. We'll see what it looks like. We'll get to see it a couple days from now. You want to see Clockwork Revolution? I don't know about that one coming out this year, though. I don't think we'll see that. I think we might see more South of Midnight, maybe even some Doom. What is it called? New Age, Old Age, whatever the fuck it is. But I don't, you know, you'd think by now we would have seen something of not South of Midnight, of Clockwork Revolution. But, you know, there's a lot of good, man, I'm telling you something right now. Now, Sony put out a video. I've not watched it yet. I don't know if I'm going to end up getting copyright hit on this, but they put out a video. Did you guys watch it? Which was like the game's coming in 2025. Let me just go to it real quick and see if we want to bring that up. Let's see, PlayStation 2025 games. This came out today. Here it is. Upcoming games. They dropped this 10 hours ago. Hopefully there's no music in it that's going to kick us out, but if there is, there is. Hang on, let me make this work for everybody. So this is what they got coming in 2025. I only bring it up, and you can say I hate PlayStation, whatever, you're an idiot if you think that. I don't hate PlayStation at all. But I will say right now, when you talk about Avowed, South of Midnight, Doom, Indiana Jones DLC, eventually maybe Clockwork, but even that, who knows that? We don't know what that's going to be. But right now, I'm more interested and excited for the Xbox lineup than I am for the PlayStation lineup, unless there's some new stuff they show tomorrow or Thursday. So let's see. Here's what we got. And Fable as well. That's right. Upcoming games in 2025. This is directly from your friends at the PlayStation Noto. Let's watch. All right. A lot of these are not exclusive first party, which is fine. You know, most people will be playing one PlayStation, but most it's not exclusive though. I'm looking forward to this, although today's Assassin's Creed drop that we'll go over looks pretty good too, though. But I am looking forward to this, of course. I'm not gonna play this. It looks great, but I don't want to play this without playing the first one. I played the demo, it was fun, but it's probably not gonna get into it. It's really cool though. This looks fun. This looks great. Everything I see looks better and better on this game. This looks good, but not as good as the game. Was it Another Animal from the same team that made the first two of those? I don't care about Borderlands, not for me. It's great, I just haven't played it. So they're getting Doom 2, that's great. I wonder if they'll be the same day, hopefully if it's multiplayer. Mafia Old Country looks really great. Now that might be exclusive, right? Or is it not? I know it's not first party, but it might be exclusive, or no, it's everything. I don't know what this is. I played the demo of this, couldn't play it for more than 10 minutes. This, I really want to play this fucking thing. But, you know, when's it coming? Who knows? Yeah, it's awesome. Visually, anyway. Yeah, I mean, if you're getting a PlayStation game or PlayStation console, there's so much good stuff to play. I'm not like knocking. I'm just talking exclusives and new games. But how many people play as many games as you guys and I play, right? So, but if you're just like, hey, I got a PlayStation 5 for Christmas, you're gonna be so fucking happy because there's so much good stuff to play on it. Johnny says, spoiler alert, the chat will hate on the AC Shadows gameplay Jaffe shows. Why? It looks really fun. Aren't some of those CG? I don't know, but a lot of them are not. Jaffe, is your worst fear in the world to not be able to play games? No, not at all. Not at all. I love playing games. I adore playing games, but no, that's not my worst fear in the world. Not even close. Not even close. Okay. All right, where are we going, boys? And boys Eddies. I can't get this to work for me. You guys saw this PlayStation Wrap. It may just be being hammered. I don't know, but it's like Spotify Wrap or whatever. Whenever I go, I just get this. We'll be back soon. Let's see if it's been updated. Nope. Has anybody been able to get in and see their... Microsoft did this a few days ago, and it still worked day one. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot more PlayStation 5 owners and fans, so maybe they're just hitting it way too fucking hard. Thirsty says, how brain rotten as a consumer am I if I value Steam achievements over Xbox achievements so much I would contemplate buying indie for $70 on Steam as opposed to $10 on Game Pass? I mean, games are about, making you feel good. And a lot of people feel great when they check off those trophies and achievements and stuff. Not for me, but, I don't judge you negatively for that. At all. Yeah, and Perfect Dark, Kevin Sal. I don't know if they're going to be showing Perfect Dark Thursday, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't think it's this year, though, is it? Might be. They got a lot of heavy hitters going on over there. Okay. But yeah, some people love those achievements. I'm with Brad. They don't do much for me. I mean, every now and then, like, for example, I am enjoying being in the Indiana Jones world so much that I don't think I'll 100% it, but I will definitely finish it and then go back, just like I will. I finished Star Wars, and I've gone back not just for the DLC, but I've also gone back just to do some of the side missions because I genuinely like being in those worlds. Both of those games do a wonderful job of making you feel like you're indie or making you feel like you're in a big Star Wars playground. So in that, I'll go back, but usually I don't go back when I'm done. It's just not for me. Jaffe, I don't feel anything when I play games. I just game out of a habit. Do you actually feel things? Interesting. Depends on the game. I mean, it is a very interesting question, and it is a very important question, and it is a question that's actually quite, to dive into the question and the answers to the question are is really some of the magic of the industry and also the art form, and also just sort of how the industry can move forward. It is a complaint I have had for a very, very long time that, video games really they're fun. They're really imaginative. They're great delivery systems for new intellectual property and things like that. But I would absolutely agree with you that compared to movies and television and music and books, I rarely feel anything when I play games, like beyond just adrenaline, excitement, ooh, that's cool. But I'm not like walking around playing a video game really like worried about, oh, the main character. No, I'm with you. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that the writing's never that good in games, but more importantly, if you can't deliver that to me at an interactive level, then I'd rather watch a movie, And another thing, and I'm trying to get my head around this. I don't know where I'm going to go to get the answers, and there may not be answers. But books are not interactive, of course, and I think that also goes back to the idea that games present as movies a lot these days, and in that, there's an expectation that those kinds of emotions will be delivered because it looks like another medium that does deliver those kinds of emotions. And so it may just be that when you're in the headspace of playing, I compared this, I did a Dice Talk a while ago, and I talked about the difference between watching the opening of Saving Private Ryan and your emotion, because you're able to have a little distance, and you also have the music and the camera moves and the edits and this authorial control that's meant to manipulate and bring out emotions and thoughts and things. There's a difference between watching it and being in it. Being in the D-Day invasion, probably it doesn't feel artistic and important or emotional at all. You're just like, I have to get to that rock over there and not get shot in the fucking face. And that's all you're thinking about. And I think games are much closer to that. And in that, you really can't, your brain isn't, the part of your brain, I think, that needs to be active to kind of reflect and be emotive and all that. When you're actually in it, solving the puzzles, doing the platforming, aiming the shot, you don't have that bandwidth to perceive the situation as anything other than the simulation that it is. So I would say, is it possible? Yeah, but it's not something people look at a lot. A lot of people would rather just sort of take the window dressing of video games from movies, put them on games and say, aren't we like movies? And it's like, not really, not so much. But another thing is metaphor. There are things that I get so fascinated by this, but I don't know how much it really can do any value to the design process. But if you think back to your high school classes where you read novels like Great Gatsby or Scarlet Letter or whatever, and it's like you guys discussed and debated what it was about and what the metaphors were and what the symbology of the books were. We don't really often talk about video games that way, right? But those things exist, right? I'm playing Marvel Snap today, and one of the cards is Captain Marvel. And if you watched Avengers Endgame, and sorry, it's 5 years old, I'm going to spoil it, but she comes in at the end and absolutely saves the day, right? Because she's off planet. And it's like, oh my God, thank God Captain Marvel's here. Her card in that game, basically the way it works is wherever you play it, if it's possible, her card will move from where you've positioned it at the end of the game and reposition in any spot that has the potential to win you the game, right? And that is metaphorically the character in Marvel, in the stories, in MCU. Or Captain America's card, if you play it, any card around Captain America, I think everybody gets an extra bonus of power, because it's symbolic of Captain America's biggest quality is not the super soldier serum, it's that he's an inspiring leader. And if you're around Cap, you're going to do better. You're going to bring your AAA game, right? Well, nobody's really playing Marvel Snap and having those thoughts. I don't imagine. They're just playing the game. Another one is like, I know people are going to get mad because, a lot of you guys don't like it when I talk about the trans folks. I don't know why, but, But look at something like respecing your character in Elden Ring. Now, I'm not saying Miyazaki's sitting around going, I am going to build a mechanic that is a metaphor for basically transitioning from one, gender to the other. But the fact that we don't discuss the metaphorical power, whether it's transitioning as it relates to trans people, whether it is going, I'm going to get my shit together, I'm going to take my experience and become someone better based on now what I know about life. There's, you know, if that was in a book, if a character walked into a room and came out a different character in a great book, that would be like an entire month of debate and discussion in a high school, you know, literature class. No one even, it's not that it's a reach though. Ryan says this is a reach, Jaffe. That's not the point. Of course it's a reach if I'm trying to sell you on the fact that Miyazaki, the director of Elden Ring, said, I want this to be an allegory for the trans experience. I'm not suggesting that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that, what do you think it is based on this guy's question or based on this guy's comment, which is, hey, I don't feel anything when I play games. Why is it that all these other mediums that a lot of people like to compare video games to, they're just as meaningful and emotional and artistic as movies and theater and, you know, novels? Why is it that there's a lot of these games that there are sometimes consciously, like in Desperados 3, I literally asked the director about it and he's like, oh yeah, that was intentional. And sometimes not intentional. Why is it we never notice these or talk about these or appreciate these or pursue these as creators in this particular medium? I'm very curious about that. Does it, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you guys know. Do you guys have any thoughts on this? You're like, what are you talking about, Jaffe? Shut up. Get back to the fucking Assassin's Creed shit, which is fine. But I'm curious about it. And I'm curious if perhaps that creates one of the reasons we don't really feel much, or a lot of us don't really feel much when we play. Yeah, but that's sort of different. Brett Moore says there's a lot of people that tear down games and their meaning online. I get that. But if you're talking about like Silent Hill 2 and like, was this a time loop? Or you're talking about, you know, was the little girl dead in Silent Hill 2, whatever her name is, or was she actually in the real world and she wasn't aware that these other characters, you know, you're tearing down the individual story. Or, hey, what, you know, somebody the other day, I didn't know this, is talking about Persona, Metaphor Refantasio, and saying it's actually really interesting as it relates to sort of class warfare. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And they're talking about the story. But I'm talking about the mechanics, the play mechanics themselves as a message. You know, Brenda Romero did when she did Train. I think she has a class online, or she has a book called The Mechanics Are the Message or something. But yeah, I think that's really, really interesting to me. Okay. We don't feel much because we control a lot in games, says Hidden in the Wires. What happens around us in movies, we have the director tell us. Right. Absolutely. I mean, that's certainly a part of it. When you're detached from being the author, you can experience it as just, you know, an audience member of someone else's experience. Okay. You could always make trans characters in WWE. I mean, it's not about trans characters. It's irrelevant. It's not. I'm just saying that would be something that, again, if you were reading The Catcher in the Rye and Colden Hawfield, if I remember that was his name, walked into a room and came out, and suddenly, because it's all first person in that book, he's talking totally different. You wouldn't just go, eh. You'd go, wait, what the fuck is going on? Why is this guy walked into that room and he comes out and he's totally different? That would be a whole fucking thing. Okay. Most moving gameplay moment to moment, not cutscene in a game, has to be the boss's death in Metal Gear Solid 3. Be boss's death. I'm trying to remember it. I played it, I finished it, but I don't remember it. Movie Magic says, Maniac says, the pacing of games, you're getting much more gameplay than story. So even if you do feel something, you're in memory of the experience, will likely focus on the gameplay. Yeah, but I'm saying, why can't the gameplay metaphors still resonate, right? Some of them do, but not a lot. I can, you know, I always talk about September 10th or 12th, whatever it's called, but most of them don't. Most of them do not resonate mechanically at an emotional level or intellectual, philosophical level. Okay. Yeah, interesting. Ravno says, yeah, no one considers Nathan Drake to be the world's biggest mass murderer because the murders never occur in cutscenes. Sure, that's a good point. You think games allow, says Ryan, character customization after character creation are doing so to show trans support? Let me read that again. Do you think games that allow character customization and gender changes after you create it are doing so to show trans support? I don't think they're intentionally doing it to be supportive of trans folks. I think they're intentionally doing it because characters might get bored of looking the way they look and they want to play a guy, play a girl who's very butch and then very feminine. I think that's more really what we're talking about. That's what I think anyway. Okay. Yeah, Eric, you had a great one. He says, what's the metaphor for the axe throwing mechanic again? I think what Eric said a while back talking about Kratos is he throws the axe and that sort of represents his violent tendencies and it always comes back to him. And not only does it come back to him, but he consciously always chooses. He cannot move forward in the world without him consciously saying, this is who I am. I need to take the ability to do the murder back time and time and time again. I don't think that was the intention, but I think it's a wonderful read of that particular game. And I don't know if it necessarily makes the game or your experience with the game better, but it sure makes it more fun to talk about in a lot of ways. Okay. AK, I love you right back. He says, any upcoming games you're looking forward to tackle on the break? I mean, upcoming games, no. I mean, I've got Indie to finish. I'm not going to finish Stalker. There's no fucking way. But I've got Indie to finish. I've got Elden Ring I want to finish. I want to play Among Ashes. There's probably 5 or 6 games that I really do want to complete. And those are the main ones right now. Do we think, thank you, Awesome Tatum, for the super chat, buddy. He says, do we think The Thing Remastered is going to pass us by before checking it out? There's just too much to play. Yeah, I'm not, even that's out. And what's the other one that just came out today is the fucking Power Rangers game from Digital Eclipse just came out today. And I'm like, no, I don't have time. It's too much. If you're Digital Eclipse, and I love Digital Eclipse, I wonder what that's about. I wonder why they're like, what a good time to release this is? Right at Christmas when all the big games have just finished dropping. I know it's a nostalgia play for a lot of people, but those kids who were kids in the 90s are not like they're not playing, FIFA and Call of Duty and Indiana Jones or whatever it is they're playing, I didn't have, I was an adult. I was like 23 when Power Rangers dropped in America. So certainly the Pink Ranger, Kimberly, but kind of felt weird about it. But then again, she was an adult, so I didn't feel that weird about it. Okay, let's move forward, shall we? But let me know if anybody's got their PlayStation wrap to work. I would love to see what it looks like, but I can't make it work, man. Let's talk about this. This is look, again, this is, let me just be odd man out. I don't give a fuck because I know you guys are talking about the goddamn Assassin's Creed. Like a lot of people were like, oh, you guys are going to hate Assassin's Creed in the chat. For some reason, somebody said that. A week ago or 10 days ago, they dropped a pretty beefy stealth explanation for the Ninja. And now today they put out a combat overview. And everything I see of this game looks better and better and better and better. I'm very much looking forward to this game. Yeah, Brad says his PlayStation wrap doesn't work either. Yeah. But no, I'm very much looking forward to Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm super interested in the time period. I think visually it looks good. I love the difference of character and play. I'm all totally fucking in with this thing. So they dropped a pretty beefy description of some of the combat, and it's not any of it is like I've never seen combat like this. It's nothing like that. But it's relatively, for an Assassin's Creed game, I think it's kind of deep, kind of interesting. They talk about, you got the two characters, you got the Ninja, and you've got the what is Yasuke, a samurai he's a samurai. They got light attacks, heavy attacks, charge attacks. That's the posture attacks. Obviously, they go into some detail and say the charge you can hold forever, so you can charge and change targets and apply the charge to whatever target, even if that's not who you started charging with, whatever. Here's an example of that. And what I do like is that they are very subtle about they are very subtle about a lot of the visuals. And I know some AC games are like that, and other ones are a bit more over the top, like the monsters and stuff in Odyssey. But I like how it's asking, it's trying to keep it a little bit more grounded, right? I get, yeah, you're in the chat saying your feudal Japan's overplayed. I mean, it depends what you've played. I haven't played Rise of the Ronin. So for me, I've only really played, I played what was the PS1 or 2 wonderful series of games, super non-linear, has samurai in the title. They made like 3 of them. And then I played Tsushima, but that's pretty much it. I haven't played Sekiro, right? So I don't, what was that? Age of the Samurai or Sword of the Samurai? You guys know. And then, I played Tenchu, of course. Not Bushido Blade. That was a fighting game. This was more of an adventure game, and it was, they had a lot of branching in the game. What the fuck was that thing called? Really, it's not Ghost, not Rise of the Ronin, not Ishin, not Sekiro, not Tenchu. I don't know. It was there's like 3 of them on PS1. So anyway, though, this is them just showing off the charge, basically. So here's a little. It's real small, real short.
Work together.
So now he's going to charge. You can see the red blade. It's very subtle. And then, so there's a charge, whatever. Okay, so we've seen that before. Way of the Samurai, that's what it's called. Yes, thank you, buddy. Thank you, Mutant Mo. I agree, Kevin. It looks really good. Under certain conditions, such as the perfect dodge, an enemy can be put in a vulnerable state. So if you dodge an attack, a short window in which they can be dealt devastating damage, you can see that in a second. It looks pretty cool. There's dodge, there's parry and deflect. Here's their parry. The characters play different. Their weapons are different. So Yasuka's parry mechanic happens on a straight line, it says. When a parry is successful, the enemy bounces back, opening themselves to counterattacks. But Neo, I think that's how you say it, the ninja, her deflection requires similar timing, but she pivots to the side. And so in that, it's really good that you can expose their sides and attack them from there. But it's bad to do in a crowd situation. So there's none of this stands out as like, oh my God, that's amazing. But there's clearly some thought happening here that's not just like a hack and slash, right? So here's the 2 different parries based on the 2 different characters. Right, so he just straights it, and here she is. She parries, and now she automatically goes to his side. Real simple, nothing big, but it's enough to make you have to think differently when you shift the characters that you're playing, which I think is cool. So that's in there. Okay. Yeah, the Ninja Lady looks great, and I love her chain weapon. You can block, obviously. You can parry. Skills and abilities. They haven't really gotten into a lot of these yet. They said that's probably going to be the next write-up they do, but obviously you can unlock skill trees, blah, blah, blah. Skills, abilities. You get rewards to unlock abilities of certain weapons. So this is some examples of that. So in this one, I think what's happening is if he can parry, it unlocks this thing called Naginata Crescent Strike. So you can't use it until you've done a parry, basically. So he parries that, and now he has access to it. Right? So, I mean, it's not the most amazing thing in the world, but all of these things come together, I think. At least for me, I'm not used to Assassin's Creed games having as much thought put into the moment-to-moment combat, but, you guys might. 2 protagonists, so Samurai and Shinobi, respectively. They each have their own weapon types and abilities that make them feel different. As the number of enemies increase, the ninja will be at a significant disadvantage due to her lack of armor and limited combat resources. While both characters can carry 2 weapons and switch between them, Yasuke, the samurai, is the only protagonist with the ability to switch mid-combo via the link attack ability that allows him to rapidly string together attacks and weapon abilities. He has a few unique samurai tricks. One of them is the sheath posture attack, which I'll show you right now, where he will charge up an opening attack while his katana is in its sheath. On top of looking iconic, most enemies won't see that coming if you time it directly, and that's what this looks like. So now he's going to start to charge it, and it's like a one-hit kill on this guy. How many... I just think this looks really fun, man. I think it's really, really cool. Weapons. Both protagonists have a unique selection of weapons available, which offer their own set of abilities. Among other strengths, the ninja's weapons unlock unique stealth abilities, while Yasukas open a variety of strategies to be deployed in combat. So we have the katana, which, you know, you've seen, you know. What you do when you unlock the special ability of the katana, though, this is the weapon that will let you kill people through the, what do they call them? Is it the shinobi doors or the, yeah, the shoji doors. So, you know, where you see somebody's shadow on the other side of the paper door. If you've unlocked the ability for the katana, that's where you can kill them through the door, which I think sounds fucking awesome. Sounds fucking awesome. The Kusarigama. This is cool. This is the Kill Bill weapon. Extendable ball and chain can reach enemies at a distance, push back a number of enemies at once, and then if you use the scythe part, you can pretty much cut someone's throat. If you use it, you unlock the ability to rush assassinate enemies up to 10 meters away, and that's what this looks like. All right, so now she's going to rush in. I mean, just slit his fucking throat, right? So again, yeah, somebody says, Coolio says Ninja Gaiden moment. I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think this game is proposing, it's not Souls, it's not Ninja Gaiden, it's not even Wukong. I think it's meant to be more accessible, but it clearly is not just dumb hack and slash, which I think is absolutely wonderful for this game. I don't know, man. I understand some people are in the kind of anti-woke brigade, whatever, but my goodness, I think this looks cool. Hidden Blade combat marks its return when combined with the Tanto Dagger, combining whirling slashes. So this just kind of looks like you can unlock double assassination, but it's also just like you can just cut people up really fast. Here we go. Whoops, let me get sound that's better. Hang on.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me go back. I got to read this comment. Go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're saying.
Never underestimate an Egon.
I know you said you're surprised it's so bloody. I kind of wish it was bloodier, actually. What's funny is I got this comment from where did it go? Where did this guy go? Marwa says, you're trying to sell this game so hard. Is Ubisoft paying you? Why can't we enjoy things? I think it looks cool, man. I don't care if you play this game. I don't care if you buy this game and you stick it up your butthole and then shit out the box, and the box, while it's in your colon, has shattered and slices up your rectum on the way out. I don't care. I think it's cool, man. I grew up like when the Ninja was in the heyday for American culture, right? We had the TV show called The Master, and you could go down to the mall and buy throwing stars. And, you know, this was sort of, it's a cool fucking fantasy. Why does somebody have to be a shill? Are you so cynical, pal? Why does somebody have to be a shill to enjoy something? The only way that's like saying you're probably marrying that girl because she's paying you to. There's no way you could actually, you know, be into her. I don't get it. Yasuke the ninja. No, sorry, the samurai. He's got the long katana. This is pretty rote, but let's take a look at it. Right? See, I think that blood doesn't actually look very good. Ravno says, Jaffe, you have to hate it because of Black Samurai or you're a shill. Yeah, well, sorry. Look at this, though. The blood does not look good. Like, I hope they're still going to work on that because this should look more real. This looks cartoony. The world looks great, but look at this. Like right here, it's like, it's too primary. But, you know, that's just me. You may love it, but I think it looks a little cartoony. But I do like the subtleties of the, like, watch his weapon here and watch his weapon. Again, I am not a big AC guy. I've played like 4 of them, so I don't know how subtle they usually are. But I can just tell you, coming to this after having really played one seriously since Black Flag, You know, I played other ones, but not seriously, not for a long time. I like how subtle these visuals are on the effects. Like when you've got see how his sword right there, it charged up, but you could barely tell. And then you've got this kind of warmth, this kind of energy thing when he blocks. It's not like a big, you know, dramatic thing. I think that's cool. Okay. Woke Assassin's Creed again. You know, you fucking motherfuckers. Okay. Who's a girl? Who's Marwa? I don't know who Marwa is. Oh, this person who's talking. I feel betrayed, Dave. I used to be a UB fangirl. They kept disappointing me. Well, yeah. I mean, what I will say to you, I can't speak to what they've done that has let you down. I'm just basing it off what I'm looking here. Now, if you're saying the reason you can't be interested in this is because you don't have faith in them, that's fair. But I don't have that frame of reference, so I'm just responding to this particular, you know, the content they've put out for this game, this and last last week, which was the stealth stuff, which I thought looked really great as well. He's got a big pole. He's got a big heavy weapon that's hard to use. He's got a bow. He also has a rifle, which is really apparently the hardest thing for him to use, but it's really great against armor. And then they go into a bunch of the enemies, and you know, unless they're going to show me something, I don't really give a shit. I like this. They got flurry attacks. The enemies, it says flurry attacks are marked by a distinctive blue glint on the enemy's weapon. They are short succession of attacks that won't stop even if you successfully block, parry, and dodge. The next blow in the series will come at you even if you do parry. Advanced players may attempt to parry deflect each successive blow to trigger the enemy's vulnerable state, but parrying only the last attack won't be enough, and I'll show you that here. Unstoppable attacks are marked by a distinctive red glint on the enemy's weapon. They are hard-hitting, so you know there are certain attacks you can't do anything, so you should dodge. Advanced players may want to fine-tune their dodge because a perfect dodge against an unstoppable attack will trigger the enemy's vulnerable state. So check this out. These are two of these. And then I would ask you, Marwa, I would say that is what you're seeing here pretty rote in your mind for Ubisoft? Or do you look at this and go, okay, well, if it's as good as it looks, or are you saying, no, they've done this for years and it's not very good? I'm very curious if you're saying you were a fangirl. Okay, here we go. These are the moves, the two. This is the flurry attack, which the ninja is going to block every one of them. Otherwise, she's going to try to parry every one, I think. Right, and that leaves him open. But then he's got this move, which is cool. This is the unstoppable attack, and she parries it, or she perfect dodges it, which then lets her do this, which is cool. Right, so there's your perfect dodge, and then you can basically go in and just one hit. Come on, man. Come on, man. How cool is that? How cool is that? I love that. Come on. Come on. I love it. I do want a game where you're sharp enough you can dodge everything. Yeah? Blue Gamer says it looks great. I agree. Brad doesn't like it. He says, I don't like the gameplay. See red blade, do X. See circle, press Y. I mean, that's every game, though, isn't it? I mean, they got to give you some kind of telegraphing. If they don't pop it, if they just show it to you in animation, most people aren't going to see it unless they slow the game way down. Anyway, so that's their thing. They've already done the article on stealth, and I guess we'll be getting another one next week. So I really like what they're doing here, especially given that we don't have manuals anymore. It's pretty cool to actually see, some real, I wouldn't say these are deep dives like they call them, but it's nice to see the team actually kind of getting into it and explaining some stuff. Jaffe, did I see this? Says Bukaki. Let me check. Open link in a new copy link address. Let's see. The thing I didn't like about AC Games was the computer simulation stuff. I believe I don't know if they're stepping away entirely, but sounds like they are stepping away for sure. It does not look very fluid, but that's the quality of the video. I think so, Bukaki. I don't think it doesn't. When you watch it on your own computer, it looks fine. All right, Bukaki says, the Game Awards 2024. Yeah, we talked about this. We'll repeatedly feature two. Holy shit. I can't believe this thing is here. I mean, I don't know if one of them is, people are saying they're going to see an Unreal 5 version of Days Gone, which is bizarre. to believe. Bloodborne kind of sort of makes sense given what little Jason Schreier is his hyperbole. God of War remaster people are talking about. I don't know about that one. I mean, I'd love to see it, but I don't know if that's going to make people say holy shit, but it might. So I'm looking forward to it. Somebody send me if you want me to look at that MAGA guys thing. I'll take a look at it. One moment. Okay, if they show Persona 6 at the Game Awards, I'll shoot. Wow, why? Yeah, Bloodborne rumor's been going around a lot. I know people are working on it, but I don't know when it's, are you still friends with Colt? I'm not. I was never not friends with him or friends with him. I was on his show. I think he might have been on my show. I got along with him fine. But, I'd love to see new gameplay trailer for Killer Bean. That looked awesome. I don't have copium. I don't care if Bloodborne happens or not, Addy Pie, but I will tell you I plan on playing it again because, I told you guys I have that fucking book, the Bloodborne fucking 400-page phone book of a strategy guide, which I adore. I want to dive back into that world. No, Dead Rift, I don't. Do you think they're going to butcher the God of War trilogy remake? I don't. I think all you have to do is look at God of War Ragnarok Valhalla. They did a great job with that. I think the only thing people might be upset about is if they do remaster it, and I don't think they will remove the sex and nudity, but if they do, I could see people being annoyed by that. But I hope they don't, and I don't think they will because I think they know that it would be it wouldn't go down well with fans. Like at that point, just don't redo it. But who knows? You never know. Is the God of War remake confirmed? No. Well, I don't have it confirmed. I have no. If somebody told me it was happening, which people have told me, I believe them. But if someone said no, it's not happening, I go okay. I think it is. I mean, it seems logical that they would do it. Okay, Jaffe, if a bit. Okay, I don't care, Alex. I'm not interested in that right now. Okay. 1 second, fellas. I want to show you something. Why am I drinking Mountain Dew? Because I am, man. Why are you... some of these questions to me are weird. It's like, I don't know. Because I am. Why do I have to justify and answer questions about what I'm drinking? I'm just asking, Jaffe. I'm just asking. I know, but I'm just answering. Shut up. Mind your business. I don't fucking know. Not to be a dick, but, fuck. Okay, does somebody want to send me that MAGA thing? I'll watch it if you want. I could use something off book. But in the meantime, before we watch that, if we choose to watch that, or just tell me what to look up, I do want to talk about Cyberpunk 2077. I am very much looking forward to, jumping back into that. Actually starting from scratch. And today they announced what is probably going to be their final update. We already thought we had their final update. And most of it is kind of customization stuff. Addy Pie says the new patch is lame as fuck. Well, can you speak to that? Like, my understanding is you've got new abilities to customize the look of your car. You're able to take pictures of other people's cars in the game and map that skin onto your car. You have a more in-depth character creator in the sense that you have more little pieces and bits and bobs to make your character personalize it. You've got, they've added like 10 cars that you can drive that people have been asking for. They've got Johnny Silverhand, the Keanu Reeves character, that I guess 25%, and I won't explain why it makes sense in the narrative, that, 25% of the time if you're driving and there's a passenger seat in your car, he'll just pop in and appear and kind of respond to things. And they said they're doing that because they want to kind of embed him more in the narrative than he was already. But I'm, given the fact that none of us were really expecting a patch or anything new, it sounds to me like, it's a nice little thing that we can get, and that's great. And, they're moving on to The Witcher. But like I've said numerous times on this show, I have played this about 12 hours. I loved every second of it, and I really want to go back and start a new game. I just got busy, and so maybe it'll be the game I really latch onto after Elden Ring when I finish, which I really fucking need to finish that fucking game. Okay, but that happened today, so if you're into it and you're playing it, pick it up. Yeah, JD says, I haven't played it since the disastrous PS4 launch. I'm looking forward to replaying it on PC. Yeah, I ended up buying a second copy. I own it on PlayStation 5, but I bought a copy on PC because I want to play it with all the knobs turned up on GeForce Now streaming. Because that's kind of the... I mean, I know you can kind of mod your computer and get like super custom visuals, but I don't want to do all that shit. So to me, that's the best I'm going to be able to make it play. So I'm very much looking forward to kind of losing myself probably in the spring into this. Okay. They added car combat. How is the car combat in it? I would be curious to know. All right. Let's see. I'm going to put on a couple of trailers that I've been wanting to watch, and I figure we would watch them together if you don't mind. This is a trailer that they showed last week, last week at the PC Gaming show. I haven't even watched these. There's like 4 trailers. I hope you don't mind. Let's watch them together. This is called Total Chaos. It's a first-person shooter from the team that made the wonderful... it was called Ion Maiden, right? But then they ended up changing it. No, these are the guys that did Turbo Overkill. Okay, this is a game called Total Chaos. Here we go. It's Rob the Mod right there.
I knew someday I would return. But this place, this oasis, it's not how I remembered it. It's strange. The longer I stay, the more I start to believe that maybe I never left. Everyone I ever loved vanished. I came here seeking answers. And those that remain here,
Ooh, that guy's
they won't let me have them.
Two Towers
If I don't
tree.
tread lightly, this place will become my prison.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I dig it. Total Chaos, man. Wish list today. Play Total Chaos. All right, there's one. Trailer 1. Looks pretty good. Hey, Torque Mod. Welcome back, buddy. Welcome back to the Diet Soda Soldiers. Thank you, buddy, for that support. I appreciate it. Everybody give Torque Mod a pickle tickle and an emoticon of your choice. I would appreciate it. I know he would, too. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Torque. Kevin says, Jaffe, what if it's another Scorn and you're disappointed? Well, I mean, welcome to life, man. But that said, though, Scorn, if you remember Scorn, they never really showed much. People kept going, it looks great, but what the fuck is it? And this clearly is a shooter. And if you look at the team that did Turbo Overkill, that was a shooter. So I don't think it's going to not be an action game. But is this one the FPS Souls game? I know we watched a trailer, Conclave. Was it today or yesterday that was an FPS Souls game? I thought that looked pretty good. Jezbelly, have I watched the trailer for Lost Records Bloom and Rage? I think I did, and it looks really good. Is it out? Didn't they just lay off a bunch of people? Because I think that trailer had a bunch of licensed music. Lost, what's it called? Lost Records. I also want to play that one from Annapurna, the mixtape, which I don't know when that's coming out. Okay, if this has music in it that I can't show, I'll just stop it, but let's see. Solid, been a member for 9 months. Thank you. He says 2 a.m. in my time zone. I'm going to say goodnight. Thanks for unbanning. Of course, buddy. I didn't know. Thanks for letting us know. Thanks for being part of our community, but I appreciate it. Yeah, so this is the team that didn't they just lay off a bunch of fucking people? All right, let's see.
We forgot.
You can talk to me now, Torque. What do you want to talk about, buddy?
Do you ever wish we could go back to that time? forgot. For a reason.
You know what? I hate ugly girls like you. So why don't you just get out of my face?
I don't give a shit what your dumb friends think, Cat.
Oh yeah, okay. This has music in it, but I'll give this a watch. But yeah, this looked good. I'm looking forward to it. Absolutely. Yeah, Twerk, you can call in for sure. Let me get through a couple of these things first, though. Shut up, Bukaki. I know Zeverland. I'll put on Zeverland tomorrow. Deepest Fear I'll put on tomorrow. There's a bunch of other stuff, but I really now I'm curious. Where do I go to see this? Not MAGA. It's not politics. This guy. You said this guy had some not nice words, and I'm kind of in the mood for a fight. But yes, if you want to call in, put yourself in the call-in waiting room on the Discord. That's how you do it on this show. If you want to call in on the Jaffe stream, that you just do without having to be on the Discord. But I'll give you we cannot finish this trailer because it's got licensed music in it, and I don't want to have to deal with pulling it out and pulling the video down and editing it out tonight. So when you do Zeverland, please clip out the segment to a separate video. I'll likely miss it live. Absolutely, Daniel. Yeah, what I'm telling you is PK, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do it now. Let's do it now since I don't know what this clip is people are talking about anyway. So we'll do Zeverland because he's been asking for a few days, and I hear it's pretty good. All right, this is Zeverland. It's a 6-minute teaser trailer. If it's boring, though, I'm turning it off. Put yourself in the call-in waiting room, Torque. That's how I do it. And then I'll drag you into the locked room. Some fucking fun pop. God damn it. Is this some fucking fun pop bullshit game? I don't know what it is. He's been saying watch it for a long time. Car looks cool, though. They look like Mii's, yeah. It's like, give it a minute. He said it looks like a boring game. Give it a minute. All right, Marcus Sword. Thank you, buddy. Thanks for hanging out with us, man. Cool. I'm in. Oh no. I mean, fine. I mean, does it get amazing? It looks fine, you know.
In this fully interactive world, you'll need to get creative if you want to survive. With a full crafting system, you can turn everyday objects into an apocalypse survival kit.
Now, okay, now let's just stop for a moment, okay? This could be my new favorite video game. I'm not, you know, a lot of times it's hard to show compelling gameplay in, you know, non-interactive trailers. I get it. But if I'm making this trailer, I'm either going, it just looks fine. I mean, like, really? Like, do they really think, who is this for? Maybe it's for little kids that want to play their big brothers or big sisters zombie games or something. But it's fine.
Why go out for weapons when you've got weapons at home? Create a deadly arsenal with stuff you've got lying around. With a javelin, you can go medieval on a Zed without having to smell its breath. Feeling peckish? There's plenty of animals out there waiting to become meat.
So it's it's like 7 days
Turn
to
a
die,
stick
sort
and
of.
pen
Right?
into an arrow. Then combine it with chloroform to get a knockout arrow.
I mean, it looks cool, you know.
Walking is for Zeds and chumps. If you want to get around in style, use our fully modifiable vehicle system. You can give it a new coat of paint.
I'm not negative on it. I just don't get the. It seems totally.
Even the most rundown beater into a mobile.
Yeah, what I'll say, yeah, Calpy says, "Holy negative chat. This looks fire for real, no cap." I don't think it looks fire. I don't think it looks bad. It looks very rote, been there, done that. And perhaps though, these pieces and the way it's tuned and everything comes together better than any other game that's doing it. But right now, at a trailer level, it's kind of like, eh.
Need more space?
That's cool.
Upgrade
Okay, that's
your
the
chases
first
and
thing I've
trailer.
seen that's cool. That's cool.
Tack on hydroponics, living spaces, and all sorts of other facilities to complete your
All right,
big
that's
bad
cool.
Zed-killing steed.
Is this multiplayer? Are those your buddies?
So you've turned into a Zed. It's not the end of the world. Well, technically it is, but you can still go on playing.
Okay, so hang on a second. So
Zeds
wait,
don't.
are these your friends? Is this a
Tack
multiplayer
on
game?
hydroponics, living spaces, and all sorts
Like right
of
here?
other
Are these all other online people?
facilities to complete your big bad Zed-killing steed.
Should I open with that? Zed's Day, yeah.
So you've turned into a Zed. It's not the end of the world. Well, technically it is, but you can still go on playing. Zeds don't get hungry or thirsty, but they sure do love them some meat. And if you can't find any tasty humans, there's always other Zeds.
I don't want to walk like that.
Missing a
That's
limb?
slow.
Just yoink one off all the corpses lying around.
Brian, I have not. Should I?
Other Zeds
Ooh, that's
probably
cool.
won't attack you, but human players might. If you run into an elite Zed hunter, sometimes it pays to blend in with the crowd. As a Zed, you can level up your powers and even control your fellows. All hail the new king of the Zeds. The world we've crafted measures over 600 square kilometers, with towns, villages, coasts, mountains, and countless other unique locations. You can turn an abandoned building into a mighty shelter with high walls and self-sufficient farms.
I mean, this is more interesting the further longer it
Or
goes.
just travel around in your RV like a true apocalypse nomad. There will be hundreds of players trying to survive together.
Cool.
Weathering the cold, the plague, and hordes of Zeds. You'll need to help each other out if you don't want to become Zed Chow.
I'm assuming if you die, you can, what, just roll a new character or continue to play as a zombie?
With everybody else dead, you and your fellow survivors will shape the future of this world together. Whether you want to rebuild civilization, find a vaccine, or just give up and embrace the chaos, the choice is yours.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's kind of cool. It could be really fun. Like I said, I like 7 Days to Die, but I got bored of it. State of Decay 2 is coming out, but you know, it's kind of cool. I like some of that, so I appreciate you showing it to me. You know, all right, let me bring in Torb. But thanks. You know, what would I choose? What do you mean? Like if I were to become a zombie, or I don't know. I don't know what all the mechanics are that you can do as a zombie. Okay, let me bring in Torque. All right, Torque, it's Jaffe. What's going on, bud?
Hey, how's it going?
It's good. How are you?
Pretty good. Sorry, I was doing dishes while I was waiting. I didn't know when you were bringing me in.
No worries. What's going on?
Yeah, I've just been catching up on your streams because I can't catch them every day.
I appreciate you watching. Thanks, buddy, and thanks for joining.
Yeah. And I wanted to just mention, you were talking about the Canadian health system and asking if it's really long wait times. It is if you don't have an emergency. So if you're close to dying or you're having a heart attack, you just go to the ER and they handle you right away.
Yeah, I kind of figured it was something like that. But if you're like, oh, I'd like to, maybe I've got a problem with my foot or something, I don't fucking know. Maybe it's a little longer.
And if you go in for any non-emergency to the emergency room, you literally sit there for 16 hours or something. But no, like for me, I'm getting I've got major sleep apnea and I'm getting surgery done on my nose, but it's like 12 to 14 months wait time.
Oh man, have you gotten the machine though? Do you sleep with the machine?
Yeah,
I've
got
my
the
sleep apnea machine. It's great.
My apnea, I went to like this, you probably don't know the University of BC, but anyways, it's the biggest, one of the biggest universities in Canada, actually. And they have a sleep clinic there, and they took me in, and they said I had the worst apnea they have ever seen in their entire history.
I have started to question, because I've heard that so many times, like from people and myself. Not just about sleep apnea, but anything. It's like, we did this blood test and your vitamin D is so low. I don't know how you're walking around. And it's like, that's when you got to suspect they're about to start selling you something. But I hear you.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
well, listen,
the machines helped, but
absolutely. I'm glad to hear it, and I appreciate you giving some clarity. If you call back in the actual Jaffe stream, the morning stream, that's where we talk about all the politics and stuff like that. So more than happy to have that conversation.
What are mornings?
Huh?
I said I don't do mornings.
I know. I hear you. But then the afternoons are all games because people like to keep it. I like to keep it separate as well. But I do appreciate you letting me know that because I've always been curious about.
Yeah, because nobody seemed to be giving you the answer. The other thing I wanted to say was I love you, but fuck you because you spoiled 2 things for me.
Tell me what.
I was watching this stream where you were like, you wanted to tell everybody about a game, but you were worried to even tell them the name of the game, and I'm like, what? But Jaffe's not worried about spoilers because you ruined the Last Ronin for me.
I didn't play the Last Ronin.
No, the Last Ronin's the comics, the TMNT. You told me who the fucking turtle is that survived.
That's the opening. That's the opening, like 4 panels.
But I don't know. I haven't fucking looked at the book.
Okay, but but if you walked into a comic shop and you were considering buying the Last Ronin, you would open the book and it would be talking about all the other turtles except whoever it was that survived. That's
It opened. Okay, so you're saying it's not a spoiler.
No, that's the
like
back of the book.
Reveal at
no,
the end.
That's the back of the book. Like, hey, this is what this story's about.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that.
Well, then you're forgiven for that. But you also told me that Joel dies in The Last of Us 2.
Oh, come on.
That's a major fucking spoiler.
Okay, do you guys have power in Canada? The fact that you haven't played The Last of Us 2?
Hey, I haven't had time. I'm a game designer.
Well, it's been 10 years, man. I can't worry about...
It hasn't been 10 years since
When did that fucking Last of Us 2 come out? It's been long enough that if you're a game designer and you haven't played it...
It's been like 3 years.
Oh my God. No, it has not. Hang on. Let's find out together.
Yeah. I mean, fair, but still.
When did Last of Us 2 come out? Let's see. It's been 4.5 years.
Yeah.
Come on.
Again, I didn't have time, and I was waiting, and my buddy
and by the
was
way,
lend me his disc.
I get it, but by the way, I will say about that game, it wasn't even the fact that I felt like I wouldn't have spoiled it to spoil it. That was so much what the controversy was about that I assumed anybody coming to that game has heard that 1,000 times before they put it in.
I go out of my way to avoid shit like that. Like I never watch movie trailers because I'm like, I don't want to fucking know anything going. I literally run out of the theater when a trailer for a movie I want to watch is coming on before the fucking movie I'm watching.
Well, now you've just made an enemy in the chat. Sean says, wait, Joel dies? This guy just ruined Last of Us 2 for me. That's you, buddy. That's on you.
You're welcome, Joel.
Are you, what game are you working on? Do I know it or you can't say?
No, I could say. After my werewolf game, I've been working on
I played your werewolf game. It was interesting. It was cool. Yeah, what you're doing now?
Yeah, it was my first game. Yeah. But after that, I've been working for 2 years now, just part time, but on a spiritual successor to Future Cop LAPD.
Oh wow, yeah, I love those kind of games. The
PlayStation game.
Yeah, it's kind of
but we're not doing. I'm doing like we're not, obviously we don't have the IP, so I'm not doing remake or a sequel. I'm doing we're very heavily inspired by it, but we're also modernizing it. Like instead of doing the isometric top-down view, we're doing over the shoulder.
Interesting.
Stuff.
Okay.
But
let me know when you got something to share. I'd love to put the trailer on the screen.
I got an invite to an upcoming showcase by one of the top streaming platforms. So we're going to be doing that in April. The guy literally just gifted me the thing, and it's like 25 grand worth of advertising.
That's fantastic.
So that's probably when everybody will start hearing about it.
Looking forward to it. It sounds cool. And I'm very curious to see how the play changes when you lose that isometric, because, you know, it's very similar, you know, is inspired that game by like the Jungle Strike series and all that stuff. And seeing a lot more space around you was part of the ability to play the game tactically. And now that you guys are kind of taking that away, I'm very curious how it feels. You know, so I'm looking forward to hearing about it. All right, Torque. Thanks, buddy, for calling, man.
Chat more later.
All right, see you soon, buddy. Good luck getting your operation.
Bye.
See you, dude. All right, let me bring in somebody whose name starts with a T. I don't know who this is. Who's this? What's up? It's Jaffe. T.
Oh.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. What do you want to talk about?
I don't honestly don't know. I thought the other guy was gonna come in here.
Well, why are you here? I love that you're here, but you do know that you were in a thing called call-in waiting room, right? Which means I bring you on the show, correct?
Yeah.
So
I just want to talk about is, why do you think so many people are just so against this? What they call like the woke agenda in video games when it's always been there.
Well, I mean, I don't know, really. I think a lot of it is, you know, I mean, some of it's just badly done work, right? I think, you know, a lot of it is just very poorly written work. But I think if there are people that are fundamentally homophobic or transphobic or, you know, they don't like anything other than people just like them. And in that, you know, they lash out because they really think that their toys are being taken away, and they don't realize that there's lots of games out there for lots of people. But
I mean, sorry, go ahead.
No. And so I don't. If you feel that way, and there, I'm not going to get into it too much today because people are tired of me talking about it. But I will get into an article about it on tomorrow's show. If you want to tune in for that Kotaku wrote, that was pretty cool, because it's basically laying into the people online that are trying to attack now Avowed for and even they're like, okay, we get how you might look at certain games and whether you agree with woke or not and how it's being used. It's like, okay, we kind of get that, but Avowed, what are you guys talking about? You know, and so I think some of it's just running with the herd, and I think some of it is, you know, there is a concerted effort with this whole Gamergate and Gamergate 2. There's a lot of people out there that are using the internet and using gamers to kind of radicalize them, and it works. Clearly, it's working. There's a lot of people who really just seem to be very unhappy and very angry and flying off the handle about this stuff, and I think it's really disturbing. But, you know, it'll be what it'll be. We'll see.
I mean, it's just absurd to me that even the older gamers who call themselves gamers are kind of mad about the LGBTQ community like invading their space somewhat.
It's not their space.
When games like Guilty Gear,
it's not their space. They don't own the space. It's you know, fuck you. You know, I mean, exactly. It's video games, man. You know, go play the games you like to play. Go fuck yourself. You don't own anything. You're not owed the space. Fucking child. That's what I think, sir. All right. Well, thank you for calling in. I appreciate it. I'll go over that Kotaku article tomorrow, bud.
All right. Sorry.
All right. See you, bud.
See ya.
All right. Is somebody going to tell me where to find this fucking clip? I want to watch this clip, but I'll bring in B Turtle briefly. I don't have the energy for Turtle tonight. Turtle, what's going on, buddy? Turtle.
Hello?
What's up?
What's going on, Jaffe?
Yeah, doing a show. What are you up to?
You talked about Indiana Jones yet? Because I have a
no,
lot.
You were going. I don't have a lot of time for Indy on that. But what do you don't like it? I don't understand how you don't like it. But go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna totally bash it. There's some stuff I like about it.
Okay,
But
so
I
what's the problem?
like how I'm seeing a lot of the normie gamers
Mhm.
who seem to be joining my side over the years, knowing that what's going on in the industry, all this woke stuff.
Okay.
And Avowed deserves to be attacked. I
All
won't
right,
go there,
yeah,
but it
let's,
does.
Let's talk Indiana Jones. So what's wrong with Indiana Jones?
First of all, the game opens with a warning about Nazis. Like almost has to warn you that there's Nazis in this game. And
I don't think it's warning you that there are Nazis. Let me go to it real quick. I think they're basically saying we would like to be. I could be wrong. Let's go to it. Hang on. Indiana Jones. Go to the next thing while I'm looking this up because I want to be able to pull this up so we can see.
I thought the opening of the game was horrendous.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think if
I'm playing an original indie game, I don't want the opening to be from the first movie.
I didn't mind that the opening was what it was. What I did, what I will agree with you on, that if you're not a hardcore indie fan, it doesn't play wonderfully, and it certainly doesn't play like the rest of the game. Like the rest of the game,
but it's just tacky. I love the first Matrix movie. I don't want if I had a nice big budget Matrix game, I don't want it to start.
All right,
with,
so you don't like.
Neo
I mean, I
bullets.
all right. I mean, Colin Prime says the opening.
Let me ask you this: wouldn't you have preferred if they had a nice opening, original opening where he was doing something cool? That could have been maybe iconic for indie and gaming, rather than just copy and paste the first intro of the movie.
I love Indiana Jones so much, and I loved Raiders so much that the idea of being able to go back and play that opening was very satisfying to me, even though I don't think it plays like the rest of the game, and it wasn't excellent, was not. But it didn't bother me, but sure, I expected them to open with like a really over-the-top action scene like all the movies do. And I liked what they did. It was a great piece of fan service, but if that's not who you are, whatever. I mean, it's not.
Listen, I like indie. I didn't appreciate that. Next thing is terrible gameplay. This is a stealth game.
Okay.
And the stealth in this game is atrocious. You can only really do but two things.
I don't know about that, but the stealth is atrocious. The stealth's horrible.
It's atrocious.
Yeah.
Now, this is an immersive sim. If you want to play a good immersive sim with good stealth mechanics, you can play Deus Ex. In this, you're just doing the usual, let me throw a bottle, and a dumb AI is going to keep looking at the bottle, and then the horror... whatever, I'll skip over that because you agree with that.
If you strip away Indiana Jones license, I think it is a good game that has moments of being really, really, really cool. I highly recommend it if you love
I agree. There
Indiana
is some
Jones.
stuff I really like about it.
Yeah, but I don't think if you rip Indiana Jones out of it and it's just this game, I would say it's okay.
Can you do me a favor? Because I only have two things left. It was the horrible gameplay.
Well, let me read you the Nazi thing.
About...
Let me read you the Nazi thing. It says the story and contents of this game are not intended to and should not be construed in any way to condone, glorify, or endorse the beliefs, ideologies, events, actions, persons, or behavior of the Nazis and fascist regimes, nor any other regimes, or to trivialize any war crimes, genocide, or crimes against humanity. I certainly don't think that's necessary. I don't think most people who are upright thinking humans would disagree with what they're saying. So as I've played the game so far, I certainly don't think anyone would be confused that the Nazis are being glorified. But, it doesn't bother me that it was in there. But it is, it doesn't really need to be. It's like, yeah, no shit. The Nazis are the bad guys.
Okay, now I just want to push back on this narrative. I've been seeing the normies say that this game isn't woke. And it absolutely is woke.
Okay, I don't get that.
I'm not going to spoil anything.
Well, I
won't
mean,
spoil anything.
Okay, guys, close your ears for 8 seconds. Okay, and Peter. Okay, here we go. When I say now, Peter will start speaking. That'll give them 8 seconds to close their ears. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and then after 8 seconds, he's not going to spoil anything. Okay, so ready and now.
Okay, so the game takes place in what? It's a year after Raiders, right? So 1937.
Yep.
Or 6. Yeah. Okay, 37. There is LGBTQ plus. Representation and a major part of the plot and other characters that are part of the plot are part of that community. I'm sorry.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. This won't spoil anything. I know. I want to make sure I know what you're talking about. So there is a character in the game that is a lesbian, and they like another lesbian in the game, correct?
They're with that person, yeah.
Right. Okay. So that, and you're saying there weren't lesbians in 1937?
No, again, I'm saying that do you think this is the right place to be putting that kind of content in? Indie is for men.
Oh, shut up.
It didn't, but nevertheless.
Okay, but
but
let's be clear. Let's be clear. You're not saying that there were no lesbians in 1937, and you're also not saying that there hasn't been art in the past that has represented the lesbian or the LGBT experience in that time.
No, of course.
All
I'm
you
just
have to
saying,
do
of
is look
course,
at the
big-
Broadway play Cabaret and go, oh, okay, you know, that's of course. Okay,
And-
so
and
you're
it's in
just
Berlin,
saying
that makes sense.
the fact that it's in an Indiana Jones game you don't like because
Well, it's in every game, and I'm just saying. Here we go. Indiana Jones LGBTQ representation. Again, like, is there a game that this doesn't exist? But nevertheless, I want to say this.
So you're bothered by the game because one of the characters is a lesbian?
Well, it's a big part of the story, not
It's
her
not
being
a
a
big
lesbian.
part of it.
But
Her character is an important character, but who cares
Right,
if she's a lesbian? I mean, you must. That's fine, but I don't understand why it matters.
Okay, but anyway, the main female lead in the game is a girl boss.
I don't know what that
Absolutely.
means. What
And
is a
this
girl
is the
boss?
last thing I wanna-
Educate me. What is a girl boss?
You know, like Rey from Star Wars. Not necessarily a Mary Sue, but she pretty much bosses you around the entire game. Doesn't follow your lead. Is all knowing. Always is right. And this is what I want to show your viewers. And I wanted to know if you could pull this up because it's not a spoiler, but it's a part of the game, but it's not a spoiler. There's a video that came out. It's called One Nun versus Three Fascists. This character is your partner throughout the game.
Okay.
He is beating up a bunch of Nazis in hand-to-hand combat, and if you leave it up to her, she will knock every single one out. She can take all of them on. She can knock out like 7 Nazis in a fight.
Okay, but now you're getting into so.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Well, okay, so I'll let Mary and I'll let Mary and Ravenwood know that she needs to just sort of be quiet and not say anything, because.
Can you YouTube this and I'll go
No,
after this.
no, I'm
Can
not.
you just
I'm not.
YouTube?
No,
Alright, so
I
to your
believe you,
viewers-
but what I'm saying is Indy has always had very strong, especially Raiders. Marion Ravenwood gave as good as she got. I mean, she was a badass motherfucker in
I
that
understand.
movie.
Yeah.
So, but if you're and you're talking about a game mechanic where, you know, what are you going to do? Have them? What do you want, an escort mission? Now you have to worry about her health bar.
That other games do that.
Yeah,
Hell, even in the first Last of Us, it takes a while, but Ellie can die.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
in this game,
but here's
not
the
only
deal.
can she
Here's
die,
the deal.
She can knock
Yeah.
out all of your enemies.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can literally stay on the side and she'll beat your entire, because she can't die. You can just hide and she'll beat everybody up.
Okay, well, I haven't played it that way. I mean, why are you hiding and letting the girl take care of you?
All I want to say is to your viewers.
No, are you going to
since
answer my
Jackie won't
question?
Pull it up. Go ahead, go.
No. I mean, so I'm playing Indiana Jones. I'm playing it like a real goddamn man, straight, gay, whatever you want to be. But it would never occur to me to hide, let alone hide and let the girl take care of it. But you're telling me the way you played the game, you hid and let the girl do everything. Well,
No, I'm not saying
isn't that
I
a you
did it.
problem? I wouldn't have. If you wouldn't have told me, I wouldn't have even known it was an option. Because that's not how I roll. I go in there and I'm a
First of
man. I
all,
take care of shit. You literally,
let me ask you
what'd you find, a crate or a basket maybe in Cairo and hide inside it and let the girl take
I'll
care of it?
explain it.
I won't even, listen, no. I will not allow such betas on my show, P. Turtle. I'm sorry, I won't. Indiana Jones is out and it's showing men how we should be.
Listen.
We should be in control. We should be in charge. And you are such a little bitch.
Wait, can I ask
that-
you what mode are you playing on? The difficulty?
I'm playing normal.
Oh my God! You can beat up an entire village in that game on normal. I'm playing on the hardest mode. So
Okay, so that
as you
makes
know,
sense
there's-
why you would hide then, is what you're saying. So the girl can
There's
handle
a
it, but you
stamina.
can't.
There's a stamina system. Let,
Yeah.
let me get this out. There's a stamina system.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you're punching the Nazis in the face,
Yeah.
you can't punch anymore.
Yeah.
It's very hard on the hardest setting. So you actually have to pull back, and when you pull back to try and get your stamina back up, she's going around knocking everybody out.
That's awesome.
She can't die.
Well, cool. Then that, but you know, like I said, that's not how I play. I haven't experienced that, but I wouldn't, you know, that's not
Okay,
how I
so
do
let me
it.
just say this to your viewers and I'll go. Everybody, please look up the YouTube video, one nun versus 3 fascists. You'll see this nun knock out 3 dudes after like 15 minutes of brawling while Indy's on the side hiding. Thank you, Jaffe. I appreciate you having me on.
See you, Peter.
And thank you.
Listen, and seriously, get some air because it must suck to hide all the time. See you later. All right, there you go. I mean, I'm not going to pull it up. I mean, look, I don't care. I'm not so insecure in my masculinity that, oh no, there's a female character, and I get what he's saying, which is, here's what I will say. My understanding is his criticism is probably something along the lines of this, which is, there is a representation in a lot of mainstream narrative media now of that doesn't really feel realistic, even within the narrative of these big fantasy stories or adventure stories. And it doesn't feel well written because it feels like somebody behind the scenes is going, you fucking put in the thing where women are just as cool and capable in every way, shape, or form as men. And I understand that from a writing standpoint, and I understand that may be, to some, an overcorrection. But you know what? The reason none of that really lands with me, even though there may be truth to that in certain poorly written narratives, is, I'll tell you what. The idea that now, I mean, I want you to think about all the shit women and black folks and gay folks and Muslim, all the minorities have had to put up with over the centuries, in this country anyway. And it's like, oh, sorry, are you not feeling as, badass as you were because your little video game has a character that doesn't continually kiss your ass and tell you you're the fucking man? Oh, well, sorry. You know what? Take a fucking seat. Let them, if they need to overcorrect for a couple of years or a decade to make up for all the chauvinism and racism and anti-Semitism and Islamophobia, I'm okay with that. Is what I would say. But hey, you don't have to play it. Don't fucking play it. I don't give a shit. You can go join the Grums Brigade, where he's talking about, I don't know, what did he say again? I just love this. I want to put this on a coffee mug. Pull it together, team. They're using this to try to confuse, disrupt, and defeat you from taking gaming back. What does that even mean, you fucking moron? Stop this petty infighting and focus on the goal. Everyone fights and nobody quits. Oh, I was feeling really low and really down, and now I'm motivated. I'm ready to get back in that war. Thank you, Captain Grums. I don't know when it's paid back. Wayne B? I don't know. Don't care. It's not bothering me. It's not fucking bothering me. I didn't say bad writing is fine because black people. What I said was, you've got some nerve acting like you've got something to complain about. When people try to course correct some of the racism and misogyny in this country, and the people who have done nothing but benefited from the systemic racism and misogyny in this country act like, you're ruining my video game. It's like, you know what? Sit the fuck down. They may very well be oversteering it right now. But you know what? You'll be fine. Because they've had to put up with a lot more shit than you have, is what I would say. Is what I would have to say. But do what you want. Do what you want. I don't give a shit. Give a fuck. Okay. Guys, I don't want to talk about it. What I do want to do, I mean, what's the point? You know how I feel. I know how you feel. We've arrived at a position where we can live comfortably next to each other in my country and your country. Leave it alone. Let's talk about video games. Not because I'm like, I don't want to talk politics, because what's the point? What's the point? Right? What I would like to do, Doug, I will save that as a video on demand, the show, the Game Awards. I'll record it. I may even stream it. But what I would like to do is this. I would like somebody to tell me what to Google to see this guy who went on Colt Eastwood and, was mean to me. I'm just curious. I really have not watched on my life. I have not watched any of these after the Vera Dark thing. I'm like, I don't care. But, we open this and somebody's like, Jaffe, did you see this thing this guy said? And I don't even know what you're talking about, but I'm like, Fuck it, I'm not even going to lie. It's easy clicks. I'm tired. I've gotten through most of my topics. I'm back tomorrow morning. I did a stream this morning. I'm doing a stream tomorrow afternoon. I won't be doing a stream in the morning tomorrow because I'm going to the doctor for a checkup, but I will be doing the Gabin and Game stream. This gives me some content that I don't have to work for. I can just watch it. And if it's funny, I'll clip it and, we'll put it out as a video and, maybe grow the channel a little bit. So what do I look up? Or not. We don't have to watch it. Somebody brought it up. I don't know who it was. Okay. Okay. Stream from the doctor. No, I don't think I will. All right. Well, nobody's telling me what to look up. No worries then. So, I might stream some games tonight. Oh, there's people in the chat. Let me bring in this guy. I don't know who he is. I can't see his face. Hey, it's Jaffe. What's going on, man?
Hey, Jaffe. What's up?
Not much. Who is this? Who am I talking to?
This is Immortan Bob.
Oh, hey, man. Yeah, I just said I'm in some weird mode where I can't see your whole thing.
Oh, no. Sorry. I was a little confused. My stream was a little behind, so.
No worries. So what's up?
Yeah, so what's your beef with PlayStation, man?
I have no beef with PlayStation.
No. I just heard you say that you didn't feel Sony was being innovative with PS5.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a beef. If you compare Xbox's initiatives this generation to PlayStation 5's, I don't enjoy not the individual games necessarily, but I think Xbox seems to be like they're really trying to disrupt the industry and try new things, and PlayStation just kind of seems like okay, we're basically doing what we do really, really well, and we're throwing more money at it, which is great. But I'm kind of bored of that. It doesn't interest me that much.
So why doesn't the haptic controls and stuff like that? Why doesn't that feel like enough of an advance? I guess.
I mean, it just doesn't. I mean, I like them. They're fine. But I don't get the sense of it really hasn't changed the way I play games. It's like, oh, that's cool. I miss it when it's not there. Oh. But I don't really feel the haptic controls. When I'm playing a lot of games on PC through GeForce and Game Pass Cloud, and I'm just playing them with this kind of, I don't know, off-the-shelf Xbox wired thing, and it has Rumble. I don't really notice. I do notice a difference intellectually. Of course, I know the difference. But I'm not playing it going, oh my God, but if there is a game that is on PS5 and a game that's on PC and it seems to be I might choose Assassin's Creed, on PS5 because of the haptics. So it's not that I don't care about it, but I'm not it hasn't been as much of it. Let's put it this way. It hasn't been as much of a game changer to me as the ability to, have a game subscription and just constantly being fed a bunch of games that I would never try. And in trying them, I'm discovering all kinds of things that I really, really, really like. I would have never played a Mud Runner game before. And I'm like, oh, I love that genre now, right? That to me is a more satisfying, and again, it's not technically innovative, but it is innovative in as it relates to sort of the way I experience video games. So, but I'm not knocking what PlayStation technically is an amazing, not maybe the Pro isn't, but it's an amazing achievement, but it's not what I love about games. So I'm not going to appreciate it as much as you might.
Well, hey, that's completely fair enough. Yeah. I was just surprised. I mean, when I was playing Spider-Man 2 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Actually, it was the Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2.
I loved Miles Morales.
I just felt those. Yeah, I thought they were both fantastic. But I really love the haptics, the haptic feedback and the controller and all that kind of stuff. Even so much that it's kind of become my de facto controller for everything.
Yeah,
and so
I get it. I mean, I even liked, like I was saying at the beginning of the stream, when I played Days Gone on PS5 and it had the gyro. I loved that. These are great things. It's just fundamentally though, end of the day, the games that you're playing them a little bit differently, but they're mostly still the same kind of games. And I'm not saying Xbox is some kind of, sanctuary of innovation in game design. It's not. It's just that I think they're doing a lot more PC style games on console. I think if Sony would have had the rights to Indiana Jones, it would have basically been a cinematic third-person game. I think it's cool that they made a systems-based, small, immersive sim. I think Wasteland 3 coming from In Exile, that is one of the most non-linear, holy shit, I'm really changing the narrative based on how I play games. You don't really see that level of freedom in PlayStation games. So as a guy who really cares more about design than anything else and experiencing a narrative that feels like I'm living in the actual adventure, I think Xbox has been better for me this time.
Oh, thank you very much for
all right, buddy. Anytime. Good to talk to you, man. Nice chatting with you. Call back anytime, buddy.
Hey, thanks again, sir.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's bring in. Well, you know what? I'm okay. I'll make these calls quick. Not that I don't want to talk to you guys, but I'm getting fried. King, it's Jaffe. What's going on, bud? King.
Hey, Jaffe.
Hey, man. What's going on?
Okay, so 2 things.
Yes.
I just want to respond a little bit to P. Turtle's call.
Okay.
It's not like, I realize everybody gets a kick out of him and everything, but the way he said something,
Okay.
The way he phrased it, is this really the place to put a lesbian character in Indiana Jones? Like it's some kind of immorality that.
I would never defend P. Turtle. I don't know if he was. He probably does think it's immoral, but I think his point was Indiana Jones, if you are going to put in what is clearly modern sensibilities, because, you know, those things didn't exist in the indie movies in the sense that they weren't part of the narrative in any way, shape, or form. I understand that it's like, okay, that feels a little afoul of the Indiana Jones brand, but, you know, welcome to fucking the future. It's 2024. But I even though I do think he probably finds it offensive, I don't think it was coming from that place so much as going, this isn't the Indiana Jones that I know. But maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, yeah, I just thought it's one thing to say I don't think lesbian characters, which it is a ridiculous statement, but I don't think lesbian characters have a place in an Indiana Jones game because they were never in the movies. You know, if I recall back, there wasn't black people in the movies, in the original movies earlier, and so
There was one. There was
know.
Captain Katanga.
Oh, okay. See, it's been so long since I've seen them, but
Right.
I mean, and well, I guess there's the token one from back in the 80s, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, I'm trying to think if the other ones did, but certainly there was Katanga was a black dude in Raiders, but yeah, it was not a very diverse series. No, I mean it was, but only in that it's like, oh, we're in India, let's hire Indian actors. But Indy and Short Round was a Chinese kid, so I don't know. You know, I don't fucking know. So I don't know. It never felt like they were trying to be diverse. It felt like they were trying to pay homage to the pulp stories that had come before. And there were a lot of those kind of sidekick street kids from wherever the adventurer happened to be in any given adventure. So, but I don't know what their motivation was. I've never read anything about it that would suggest they were checking boxes from the studio notes.
Right. I don't think that they were, because if they were checking boxes, they certainly didn't check many of them.
Right.
So.
Right.
And then the last thing I have for you is, I want someone to explain to me, and I've asked in chat and no one can seem to do it. What is woke about the new Assassin's Creed game? I don't see it.
You're not going to get a satisfying answer if you know, there are people. So, and then, you know, I got a lot of shit for calling a lot of these people grifters, but, you know, the idea that so far what they've shown of that game, and I think I've watched pretty much what everyone else has watched. I'm very interested in it, and I'm you know, I cover it on the show whenever they drop, like they did today and 10 days ago, like a semi-beefy chunk of gameplay mechanic explanation. Other than there being a black samurai, which is accurate, historically accurate, or at least someone that was samurai-like. I know there's kind of conflict or whatever. And they'll say, oh, well, see, you know, why didn't they just make him a Japanese dude? And that's, I think, what they complain about. And I'm just like, whatever, don't play it. I don't, I mean, this is what I really find this is why when some people push back on these guys and girls and say, oh, they're not really gamers. Now, as much as I have issue with Vera Dark, I know the woman streams and actually plays games, and to that, not that that's like something to have credit for, but at least she walks the walk when it comes to that, which
Yeah.
I've learned recently, and I appreciate that about her. But a lot of these people clearly don't really care about games and play games. I'm like, to act, you can be as conservative and anti-woke as you want, but to watch the Assassin's Creed stuff, or to watch any of them, to watch Indiana Jones and see the reviews, I'm not going to play that. Really? Why? What's the matter with you? It's like, he's just a character. What do you care, man? But they care.
Yeah,
So I guess my answer is I don't know what they're bothered by, but they're bothered by something.
Yeah, maybe the woman ninja or something. I don't know. I had even forgotten until someone in chat reminded me. I had completely forgotten that there was not only a gay but a trans character in The Last of Us 2. It was like so insignificant of a story point to me that I didn't even remember that that was a thing. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. When they mentioned it in chat, I was like, oh yeah, there was a big thing about that. I remember. But
Well, in
like,
the chat right now, Brad Skagg says not playing AC Shadows because of Yosuke, whatever, is completely legitimate. Not playing it for any reason is completely legitimate. But why would you avoid a game if you think it looks good because there's a black guy in it? What? But maybe that's not what you mean. I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe he's talking about something
that sounds
else.
racist to me.
I mean, he might be talking about, I don't know, I don't know, maybe he comes to video games for historical accuracy, at which point I would say, please stay away from the new Indiana Jones game because, it's not a history lesson. Ravno says, do you see in any way why the Yasuka stuff is sort of ridiculously blatant and maybe a lame idea? I'm not boycotting it, just Ubisoft stepped in it this time. No, I think possibly someone on the team was like, I'm going to be super progressive. And you know what? There actually was a black samurai that I found, and cool. I like pushing a lot of progressive stuff in my games because I'm a progressive person. Could I see that happening? Sure, it's possible, but it doesn't bother me. It's just a character, and it's a character based. Look, if there had never been a black samurai and the story wasn't about, here's this black guy from America who got in a time machine and ended up back in samurai days, and he's the first black samurai, short of that, it would feel weird. But since there is historical, reasoning to suggest there was this black samurai, fine. Do I think maybe it was also because it made somebody on the team or a lot of the team or whatever feel good about going, hey, we're contributing to the fact that maybe it's been unfair in a lot of ways for a lot of people who are minorities? Great. But sure. But no, I don't have a problem with it. I'm sorry.
But who even cares? You can't, from what I can tell from the footage, you can't even see the skin color of your character.
You'll be able to. You'll be able in cutscenes and stuff.
So what? So you play a black guy. So what? Like, who cares?
Like I said, the only reason is if it was so, like, people are saying, no, there's no historical, the guy was debunked. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. I'm sure it was debunked that he was a samurai, possibly. But was there a black guy in feudal Japan that fought with the Japanese, whatever, Ronin, samurai, whatever? I think that is based on an accurate thing. But whatever, man. I don't give a fuck. Don't play it. Don't support it. I don't care. I'm going to play it. I'm looking forward to it. It looks like a lot of fun.
It seems to me like a lot of the people who have this quote anti-woke agenda don't actually play any of the games. Just watch trailers about them.
I
and
think
listen
the
to
ones who make the
content.
videos might, but I don't think. Look, Ravnos is a real gamer. Darth Nugget's a real gamer. They really believe this is something they don't like, and it's a problem, and that's fine.
Ravnos has a problem with this.
I think so. Yeah. Marwa, who you shouldn't care because you've given up Ubisoft, but she says it's not about the black guy, you stupid prick. Excuse me, bitch. Sit down. Shut the fuck up, whore. Jesus.
Well,
it's the setting he's in, you moron. We all like AC Origins. What's the matter with the setting that he's in? What does it matter? Based on what? Based on what? So
Here's
Movie
the funny
Maniac
thing is,
says
I
he
think
was
all the
black,
AC
he was a
games are
retainer.
generic.
Hang on. He was black, he
Yes.
was a retainer, not a samurai. Don't think he actually fought. But I'm like, it's not a fucking history book, man. People are saying it's akin to a cultural appropriation. Okay. Let it get clipped. What do I care? I don't care, you guys. It doesn't bother me. I respect that it bothers you. Don't play it. I can't hear it anymore. To me, a lot of you guys sound like a bunch of fucking babies. And worst, you sound like a bunch of fucking racists. But I'm not saying you all are. And that's fine. You may just not like it. I respect your right to not like it, but I just shut up about it when it comes to me. Could you show up to the chat and just go, you know what? You're not going to convince Jaffe. He's not going to convince you, but here's what we agree on. We like video games, right? We can enjoy video games. Marwa, yeah, I do memorize your name and your likes because at first you seem like a rational, nice person. And now you're saying I'm a stupid prick because I happen to like the fact or be okay with the fact that there's a character. I mean, think about why I don't want to have this conversation with you guys anymore. That I can't just talk about it with King on the chat with a rational conversation. You've got to come in and say, I didn't call you racist at Atar. I didn't say you were racist. We haven't talked about it, but don't call me a stupid prick because we disagree. I mean, you can do it, but you won't be here for very long. I can tell you that. We'll ban you and we'll be done. I thought you had a lot to say about games. I like that. I like that you're a Ubisoft fan and now you've walked away from them. And I want to know why. But fuck you, Darth Nugget. Virtue signaling. Give me a fucking break. It's not to what end? You think I get paid from virtue signaling? Do you think this social credit you guys are convinced that exists? What do I do with it? Can I take out a loan? Can I buy a Ferrari with it? I don't care. We're not going to agree. I like progressive things. I am okay with the fact that some things are going to be out of whack for a while as we make up for lost time for the people who got treated like shit. And you tell me that that's not true. And guess what? Cool, man. Does it matter? Does it really fucking matter? Not to me, it doesn't. But thank you for the content. All right, King, anything else?
Last thing, I guess, is I was having we talked about this in lunch with Jaffe. I was having a conversation with ChatGPT, and I brought up the fact that you had your son on the show and were taking calls.
Yes.
And ChatGPT told me that that was very brave and progressive of you guys, and it commends you.
Well, tell ChatGPT thank you, and
I thought that was an awesome stream too.
I enjoyed it. It was great. I'm going to ask Calvin if he minds me clipping it because there was a lot of good content in there, but I don't want to do it unless he's okay with it. I don't care if Mar was a girl. What do I know? I don't know what the name is foreign to me, so I don't know if it's a male or female name. And what does it matter if they're a girl? Who gives a shit? Girl, guy, non-binary. Who gives a fuck? All right, buddy. Thank you, King. I appreciate it, man.
Take it easy, Jaffe.
You as well, sir. All right, let's bring in Mateus. All right, hang on. Matt, it's Jaffe. What's going on? Matt.
Hey, what's up, brother? I got a quick one for you.
Yeah, what you got?
We were talking about haptics earlier, PlayStation 5 I love haptics, but I want to know what's going on with these manufacturers and their controllers and stick drift and all. Like, I've been playing games since the NES, and I never had stick drift until I got my Nintendo Switch, and most recently I got stick drift on my PS5 controller. I cannot speak to it. I can tell you that Rathizzle says get a PS Edge. Maybe that'll fix it for you, but I've not experienced it. I've never had stick drift. So I'm sure it's incredibly frustrating. But like Gravedigger says, my DualSense was almost new and he got stick drift. So I mean, is that just basically you're controlling the game and when you push to the left, it goes more than you're pushing or something? Is that what it means? No, it's like when you're not. Well, it can be that where we're just doing a little bit, or it can be where you're not even touching the stick at all, and then the camera's just like spinning around.
Oh Jesus, that just seems like it's fucking. That doesn't even. They should name it something else. That doesn't seem like stick drift. That just seems like fucking broken.
Broken, yeah.
That sounds terrible.
My Nintendo Switch, I got it, and within, I think I played the whole thing for like 80 hours, and it started getting stick drift, and I was like, these are supposed to last years.
Art of Interactive Entertainment says he went through many. Darth Nugget says he got drift on his DS4s and 2 DualSenses. Maybe I'm not saying, I'm not like victim blaming here, but maybe it's the way you guys hold the sticks. Does it make it easier to break if you move them a certain way, or no? I really don't know.
I'm a little rough on my controllers in terms of like I don't smack them around or anything, but I do like press up pretty aggressively on the stick. So maybe it's that.
Yeah.
But I just don't see why. No,
PS3, I mean, I agree.
PS4,
It's not acceptable if it's happening this often. I think that sounds terrible, man. Just junky.
I don't know. I know you don't have the answers for it.
I don't have the answers. I don't have the experience with that, and I'm glad I don't, and I hope I don't. But it sounds like eventually it's going to come for all of us. So I'll,
Yeah, they need to pull it together. And
goddamn right, Matt. Why can't we all get together and agree on that? Let's make that the enemy, not the goddamn, the people making the video games. But what are you going to do? All right, buddy. Thank you for the call. Always nice to talk to you, sir.
Yeah.
All right. All right, fellas. Well, nobody's going to send me this thing that you were telling me about at the beginning. So let me wrap it up and say my goodnights. I will not be here tomorrow morning. I have a doctor's appointment, a checkup, but I will absolutely be here tomorrow afternoon with another Gabin and Games. New members, welcome. Old members who joined again today, welcome back. Super chats, thank you. Mods, Bukaki, RPG. I think I saw Rob the Mod in here earlier. Thank you, guys. Darth Nugget, I love bacon, but I don't want you to go woke. I don't care if you go woke. It means nothing to me. I know you're just kind of fucking around, and by the way, I like bacon. It's just disgusting, so I won't eat it. But, I'm just like, I don't want to talk about it anymore unless you've got some new data. I understand you don't like it. It's not a colonoscopy, but I've had a colonoscopy about a year ago, and it was excellent. I don't know if you're a man out there and you're like dreading your colonoscopy, don't. Because A, it's important, but beyond that, the drugs you get, holy cow. Now, some people, I don't know what to tell you, but for me, the prep was easy. It was just drinking some shit. It wasn't some sort of, there was no enemas or anything like that. I just drank a bunch of shit, maybe poop a bunch. And then you go in there, you take some medicine, you're barely aware of what's happening. And you've never felt so good in your goddamn life for 3 hours after you get out of the goddamn hospital. My goodness gracious. Delightful. Fucking delightful. Better than the PS5 Pro. I tell you that. Yeah, no, it's no problem. It's good stuff. All right. All right, fellas. Well, there you go. That has been Gabin and Games. Thank you guys for hanging out with me and talking about video games. Show up tomorrow with a better attitude, folks. Come on now. Seriously, aren't you tired of talking about it? Somebody educate me. Why do you care so much? There's a million games to play, man. Jesus, leave people alone. Fuck you, okay, Atar, we're going to fucking kick Atar off. I don't mind. See ya, fatty. I don't mind. I am a fat guy. I don't like being a fat guy, and I don't mind you joking about it. But I don't know how to read your character that you're playing online. Are you a asshole hater? If you are, you're out. If you're just somebody with poor social skills, I'll give you a second chance. But I need to know who you are. Would you mind calling in? I'm so sensitive. No, you're just being an asshole. You're being a fucking asshole. Marwa, can you call in? Let's have a conversation. Otherwise, I thought you were cool. I'm not cool because I won't let you call me fatty and call me a prick. Your definition of cool does not fit my definition of cool. Mara, you're out of here. Are you going to call in or not? If you call in, we'll talk. I get they're loving the attention, but I'm loving the ability to clip this and make money. So, we both win. But if you're not going to call in, you're out of here. I don't care if she's a girl, Alex. Jesus Christ. I don't give a fuck. Why does it matter what her gender is? Who gives a fuck? My God. This is the problem with a lot of you guys. When I say people should be equal, I think people should be equal. Meaning, you know, if you're going to dish it out, you should be able to fucking take it. If not, you know, shut the fuck up. All right. Well, keep in mind, Marwa, you're on my shit list. I'm not cool. Your definition of cool does not work for me, so do not think I'm cool. You know, do with that what you will. Okay. My dearest delightful friends and Marwa. Seriously, you guys be well. Thanks for hanging out with me. I am tired, man. I am fried. I might stream tonight. I might not. We'll see. But anyway, be well. Thank you guys. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks, guys.